Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Hello, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to Brand and Legacy Retreat. Please, if you can hear me, could you let me know? I'd like to know that I'm being heard. You could write something on the chat box. Let me know that I'm being heard so we could get right into it. I apologize for coming in 10 minutes later. I was trying to make sure we get a good number of people before we commence. Oh, great, I am being heard. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I can see a name, Ifreke. Good morning. Thank you for being here. I can see Dr. Charles Otudo. We're so glad to have you here, sir. Good morning. Good morning. Pastor Fiomo Simka, good morning. Grace Shegun Adekola, Pastor. Good morning, everyone, for being here. My name is Edidiong Abraham, and I will be your host for this event. So, we are here this morning. It is Veritas Brand and Legacy Retreat. And I would like to say welcome to truth. That is, after all, the direct meaning of the Latin word veritas. It is, in a time where uncertainties, falsehood, and even lies seems to be the order of the day. It is quite refreshing that in the midst of all of that, we have this priceless opportunity to be offered and experience truth. Truth that will bring light and direction, truth that will shed off all forms of falsehood and even lies, truth that will bring us into a space of becoming our authentic selves and living our best lives. So I would like to say, ladies and gentlemen, it is my earnest pleasure to welcome you on behalf of our host, our chief host, Madam Mercy J. Isaac, to Veritas Brand and Legacy Retreat 2024. Please, a round of applause. I would like to see us. I really hope I could see us so we could communicate better. All right, so I would also like to give a warm welcome to our guest speaker, Dr. Charles Otudo. It is such a pleasure to have you here with us. Good morning. Thank you for being here, sir. And I would also like to acknowledge and appreciate the presence of our chief host, Madam Mercy J. Isaac. It's such a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for putting together this awesome meeting. All right, so now I know that this retreat would mean different things to different people. A lot of us would have different expectations. For me, my expectation is that at the end of this meeting, I would have such a great mind shift. I would have my life altered and redirected in the right direction, and I would have a wholesome healing of my soul. So I would love to hear from a few of us here what our expectations are for this meeting. What do you hope to achieve? What do you hope to gain at the end of this meeting? I would like a few persons to share, please, if you wouldn't mind. I think we could unmute their mics. So please, would anybody like to share their expectations, what they hope to achieve at the end of this meeting? Thank you. Pastor Osimka, please, you may go ahead. What are your expectations for this meeting?
Good morning, Pastor Didion. Well done. Good morning, board. Okay, so I'm not really a business person, but hopefully this year I should begin to take my business and my profession to the business level. So I prefer to, I'm expecting that after this class, I'll I'll know how to brand or package myself better business-wise. 2 days ago, I was sharing with Pastor Mercy that I can't wait for this class because I felt my friend asked me to do a job for her and I charged her so little. In fact, I didn't even feel it until she paid me the money immediately without arguing. She just paid me bam. And I'm like, if I know that much more. So I quickly went to her and told her I cannot wait for these classes. So I'll be taught how to brand, how to, be better business-wise. So that next time I'll know how to charge well. I'll not feel bad after doing something good. So I just believe after these classes, I should be able to take my business to a better level, branding-wise and every other thing I'll learn. I've been hearing of Mr. Charles Otudo so much.
Yes.
I'll be hearing from him for the first time today if he's teaching us, and I think it will be a wonderful experience.
It will definitely be a wonderful experience, and your expectations, I'm very sure, would be surpassed. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, ma'am, for sharing. Please, would any other person like to share their expectations for this meeting, what they hope to gain, achieve? Any other person, please? Okay. Personally, I do hope to be able to, beyond business, I hope to be able to present myself, market, because sometimes I may not have a physical product to market or to sell, but I do hope that I am able to present myself and communicate myself and brand myself in a way that I am attractive to people. Thank you so much. So we're going to proceed, and I would like to say that our chief host, Pastor Mercy J. Isaac, is, among so many other things, a luxury brand developer, a corporate trainer, the principal consultant of Merge J and Co. And over the years, she has put together diverse facilitating events. She has put together, organized series of trainings and events. And a few I can easily remember public speaking for introverts, which I attended, not too young for this, and many others. So I would like to ask, is there any amongst us that has attended any of these meetings that she has facilitated, that she has trained at? Anybody that has attended any of these meetings, I would like to know your experience with her at such meetings. Please, would anybody like to share? What have you experienced from Pastor Mercy as a result of attending her facilitations, her trainings, her events, her programs? Please, I would like us to share, please. Anybody?
Well, I have.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Her trainings are always worth the while. Simple, straight to the point. I always tell her good diction, presentation, good language, command, and then simplicity, as in it's relatable. Like the one
Yeah.
but I attended it, though I'm not an introvert. I just let me go and learn so that I'll teach introverts because I used to believe I was extroverted, but from her teachings, I could that her trainings
Yeah.
and there'll be something to go back home with.
Thank you so much for sharing, man. There will be something to go back home with. Please, would any other person like to share?
Yes.
Good morning,
I
ma.
have. Good morning, Pastor Didion. I have most
Please
of
go
our
ahead.
meetings.
Okay.
Most of our meetings that I've attended are always inspiring and provoking. What I mean by provoking is that there's no way you sit under her once you leave. You begin to, it will challenge you, challenge your mind to begin to think and also to take action. So I'm not expecting less from this training. My expectations are high. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes, ma, your expectations are high, and I'm very sure they will be surpassed. I have personally sat under a few of her trainings, but before I tell my own well, if I was in a church, I would say testimony, but for the context of this event, I would call them testimonials. Would any other person like to share if you've sat under her trainings, her meetings? Okay. Any other person, please? Okay, not yet. I have personally sat under a few of her trainings, and one thing I would say has been my experience would be easy to relate. She teaches and trains in such a way that it's easily relatable. You whether she's speaking to teens, whether she's speaking to CEOs or entrepreneurs or corporate people, she has a way of channeling her messages that the audience would understand. So she's talking, she could be teaching teens branding, and she brings it in such a level that they easily relate. And then the same branding she could teach CEOs and board directors, and it's related to them in their own level. So I would say that Pastor Mercy J. Isaac is easy to understand. She breaks down the bones into little chunks that her audience understands. Okay, so before we proceed, would any other person like to share what has been their experience under her, maybe attending any of her trainings? Okay, so we would
Hello.
proceed. Oh, yes, I
Hello.
hear a voice. Good morning.
My name is Dr. Charles Otudo.
Good morning, doctor. Good morning, sir. So good to hear from
Okay.
you, sir.
I want to share my experience working with Mercy. Mercy Speaks.
Yes,
I worked with her in creating the brand as a mentor and she's a mentee. And I'm so proud of her. One, she's very hungry for knowledge. She's very angry with the status quo, and she's in a hurry to change them. And that's part of why I support this initiative. I'm so proud of her, and we are going to have fun today. If there's one thing that you can't take away from her, is her resilient spirit, the spirit of resilience, the spirit of resilience. She never says never.
yeah.
Even with her last breath, she's on fighting for excellence. So I hereby testify that she has a spirit of excellence. So, and to all those that are going to be part of this session today, get ready for a thunderstorm.
Yes,
Your life will
sir.
never, ever be the same again. But just get ready
Amen.
for transformation, brand transformation. We are ready. When it's time, if you want me to switch on my video, let me know. Okay.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. It's such a pleasure hearing from you when a mentor at that level would give such credit to his mentee. You can know that it's no joke. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing. I would ask if any other person would like to share. No. Okay, so we would be proceeding. We would be proceeding right away. And if there is another thing that I have learned working with Pastor Mercy, it's the fact that she believes in affirmations. She believes that positive affirmations would help disrupt negative thinking and build a new root in our brain for positive thought. She also believes that the more we say these positive affirmations about ourselves, the more we are able to visualize and believe in life's possibilities. So today we will be taking a few affirmations before we proceed, and they are going to come up on our screen in a short while. I will take it, and then we all will repeat after me, and we'll just go that way until we are done. So I just want to encourage us that even as we say these affirmations, we visualize them, we see ourselves in them, and we believe what we say, and then we would have them. So we would be getting right into it. I would like us all to unmute our mics, please, so we could hear one another. Please unmute our mics. You could do that individually. Okay, yes. Please unmute your mics, and then we would share. Are we ready, please?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to go on with the VERITAS affirmations. Please say after me, please. I am God's plan in motion.
I am God's plan in motion.
I have fluency in communication.
I have fluency in communication.
And I navigate effortlessly.
And I navigate effortlessly.
My mind is sound.
My mind is sound.
And I flourish without sweat.
And I flourish without sweat.
I manifest the blessings of God.
I manifest the blessings of God
In ways that have never been seen before.
in ways that have never been seen before.
My results cannot be explained.
My results cannot be explained.
And my impact cannot be denied.
And my impact cannot be denied.
My prosperity cannot be limited.
My prosperity cannot be limited.
And my impact cannot be numbered.
And my impact cannot be numbered.
So we'd say that, okay, my abundance cannot be exhausted.
My abundance cannot be exhausted.
And my life cannot be cut short.
And my life cannot be cut short.
I have seeing eyes.
I have seeing eyes.
I have hearing ears.
I have hearing ears.
I have a brave heart.
I have a brave heart.
And I have an excellent spirit.
And I have an excellent spirit.
Wisdom is found on my lips.
Wisdom is found on my lips.
Peace is found on my feet.
Peace is found on my feet.
And blessings are found in my hands.
And blessings are found in my hands.
I will not lack oil on my head.
I will not oil on my head.
And I will not be a habitation for sickness.
And I will not be a habitation for sickness.
For my health springs forth with new vigor.
For my health springs forth with new vigor.
I am the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus.
I am the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus.
I do the things that please the Lord.
I do the things that please the Lord.
And I study to show myself approved.
And I study to show myself approved.
My smell is as the smell the Lord has blessed.
My smell is as the smell the Lord has blessed.
So my fame will go far and wide.
So my fame will go far and wide.
I am positioned for influence.
I am positioned for influence.
And my family shall possess our possessions.
And my family shall possess our possessions.
My children are taught by the Lord.
My children are taught by the Lord.
My spouse is the best they have ever been.
My spouse is the best they have ever been.
My siblings walk in unity and peace.
My siblings walk in unity and peace.
Love lives in my family.
Love lives in my family.
Love is our banner.
Love is our banner.
Love is our identity.
Love is our identity.
We wear our loyalty like a badge.
We wear our loyalty as a badge.
And reflect commitment in all we do.
and reflect commitment in all you do.
We are a tireless company.
We are a tireless company.
We walk in honor.
We walk in honor.
We don't break ranks.
We don't break ranks.
We esteem wisdom very highly.
We esteem
We are hospitable.
We are hospitable.
We have understanding of our harvest season.
We have understanding of our harvest season.
In 2024, I will not miss my timing.
In 2024, I will not miss my timing.
I will not entertain procrastination.
I will not entertain procrastination.
And I will not meet destruction.
And I will not meet destruction.
I am kept by God's power.
I am kept by God's power.
And sustained by His grace.
And sustained by His grace.
I am exceedingly fruitful.
I am exceedingly fruitful.
And my strength is renewed like the eagle.
And my strength is renewed like the eagle.
In 2024, I make bold to declare,
In 2024, I make bold to declare.
Nothing will be missing and nothing will be broken.
Nothing will be missing and nothing will be broken.
In 2024, I will see all my blessings with 10,000 beside.
I will see all my blessings with 10,000 beside.
So for the last time, in 2024, I will see all my blessings with 10,000 beside.
I will see all my blessings with 10,000 beside.
Hallelujah. Please, can we put our hands together? Even as we celebrate the fact that we are becoming all that we have declared and affirmed. Okay, so right now we are going to be going into the next item, and that would be our first session. Our first session. I cannot wait for all that this would offer. And now for our first session with the title Soul Detox and Healing, I would like us to welcome the lead coach at VERITAS, our chief host, VERITAS Brand and Luxury Retreat 2024. I'm talking about no other person but Pastor Mercy J. Isaac. Please do welcome her.
Hello, everyone. Hello, good morning. If you're in Nigeria, it's definitely a good morning from here. Just to be sure you can hear me, please. Could you just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Good morning. Yes, I can see a thumbs up from our anchor who's been doing such a fantastic job. Thank you so much, Edidiong. I call you Edidiong, the voice Abraham. Thank you so much. I heard my coach say some very amazing things. Ambassador Dr. Charles Otudo, that just took me over the top. I was like, oh my God. I mean, just like Edidiong said, to have that endorsement come from a coach of many years, it's really something I do not take for granted. Thank you so much, sir. Shortly, we'll be hearing from Ambassador Dr. Charles Otudo, who's going to be bringing us a session on branding. It's going to be powerful. So please, as much as you can, charge your devices, as much as you can, get comfortable, whatever you need to do. All right, I see a thumbs up from Nene Akan Emma. Thank you so much. That means I'm being heard. All right, how is my video? Hope my video is fine. You can see me. Everything is going well. All right, fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much. Welcome to VERITAS. It's a brand and legacy retreat And you being here shows that already 2024 is different for you. Just the singular fact that you could see an event like this and you opted to join in. When we were thinking of the name to call this, I remember calling one of my friends, that's Chief Magistrate Afio Musimka. I remember calling her and we got talking, and one of the things we're trying to talk about was luxury branding and the things that make for luxury branding. And you know, in the course of that, we decided to come up with a name for this event that was not going to be regular. Now, in calling it Veritas, what did we do? We have already kind of like made people to start thinking, because many times, you know, we exist, but we don't think. Many times we just are used to the familiar. And so it was possible to have called this event How to Make It in 2024. You know what I'm saying? We could have called it 10 Keys to Success, You Cannot Miss. And you know, the whole crowd will be coming in for that. But I believe that this is a platform where we are raising great thinkers, people that are highly cerebral, people that are highly intelligent, people that will not take no for an answer, people that are, you know, very particular about knowing what is the truth, because veritas itself means truth. So there are people that are questioning the narratives. There are people that are challenging paradigms that have been for a long time. There are people that would dare to ask questions. There are people that would dare to say, is it really true that I can be in a place like, say, Akwa Ibom, and it's impossible for me to make 5 billion naira? These are the truths we need to begin to ask ourselves. Is it possible for me to be in Nigeria, and with all the indices and all the reports of the economy, is it possible that I can still scale up? Is it possible that I can still be more than I'm supposed to be? All right. So there are many truths that we have been used to over time, but in Veritas, we will be challenging those things we have heard and really come to the place of self-realization, come to the place of Godfidence, not just confidence. Please note my words, not just confidence, but Godfidence. That is the fusion of God and you, a fusion of God and you, a fusion of knowing that as far as God is concerned, He has given you all things. When I say all things, we mean all things that pertain to life and godliness. Whatever it takes for you to be prosperous, whatever it takes for your brand to be visible, whatever it takes for your brand to be marketable, whatever it takes for your brand to be unforgettable, God has given you, He has equipped you with everything that you need. All we are doing in Veritas is to bring the building blocks to where they should be. We are just helping you to say, all right, look at this strength of yours that you have not paid attention to. Why don't we shine some more light here? Why don't we, minimize, your weaknesses as far as your brand story and all of that is concerned? Let's play up your strengths. Let the world know that you actually have something to offer. There are so many truths that we'll be talking about here in Veritas, and I really welcome us. I'll go straight into some of the thoughts I want to share before Dr. Charles Otudo will be coming up. So this session, yes, it's about soul detox, but I'll start with a few power thoughts. I'll start with a few power thoughts that are really important, because when you talk about branding, when you talk about a business, there are things that you cannot ignore. And I'll be sharing my thoughts on a couple of these things. These thoughts are thoughts that have been, drawn from people who have studied over the years, people who have studied life, people like the James Allens and the rest of them. And I believe that there are some things that you'll see that will begin to make you think differently. So once again, welcome. Let me run through the participants and say a quick welcome. All right. I see Afio Musimka. Oh my God. My father in the Lord, His Grace, Archbishop Cletus Basi is here. I need to pause right now and give a big shout out to my papa. Please help me celebrate God's servant in the house. This is probably about 3 or 4 a.m. the side of the world where he is, but I can see him right on. Oh my God, it's amazing. Thank you so very much, Daddy. Thank you for your love and support. Thank you so much. All right, I can see, all right, Dr. Charles Otudo. priceless mentor, God bless you. I see Edith Young, Anchor, God bless you. I see Grace Shegun Adekola, thank you. Idorian Blankson, hey, my man, thank you so much. My husband, Joseph Isaac, is here. Thank you, baby. I know you are doing more than listening. You are looking at your wife right now. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. Stop it. All right. I can see Mrs. Papilo. Thank you. I can see Ndi Freke. No, thank you. I can see Ogenetega Ajana. Ogenetega, God bless you. Thank you for joining. I see Steve Pakuf. Thank you so much. Awesome. Awesome. So if I could have our tech assist, please begin to share the screen so that we can go into the power thoughts. We're going into the power thoughts and we'll be talking about a few things. When we're talking about branding, there are some basic foundations that we must have in place before Ambassador Dr. Charles will come to do his thing. There are things that are so important, and I'll be sharing thoughts on a few areas that are really important. The first area I'll share on is walk. 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 Now, when we talk about walk, I know many of us on this platform, we have a job or we do a business. When you're talking about work, work is as an activity. You see that activity is a necessity of existence. I'll take that again. Activity is a necessity of existence. The reason why you are alive is not because, let's say, your father, your mother got together and decided they were going to be putting together a child that will just come to the world to, as we put it in Nigerian, lingua, come to the world to suffer. Recently, I heard of someone that was going to sue the parents because he was conceived without his consent. He was conceived without his consent, and so he said he's going to sue his parents because they brought him into this world without asking if he was ready to come. And now they have not been able to provide the means. They've not been able to provide the means. Now, I'd like you to be engaging in the chat session so I can know you are here. All right. So the reason we exist is for us to carry out activity. Now, these thoughts are supposed to help our minds. So we begin to see correctly as regards things like work. Work is not something that was given to us to kill us. Work was not something that was given to us to make us any less. Growing up, I heard something called dignity in labor. And that's something we need to emphasize once again. That regardless of the kind of work you find yourself doing, whether you are a freelancer, whether you're into branding, whether you're a service provider, whether you sell products, whatever it is, you offer some kind of service, you're a career person, you're a professional, whatever kind of work you are doing, it is because that is the way God has designed it. It is only people that work that are entitled to rewards. But I'm even going to get deeper into that. Now, you see, nature at once cuts off that which has become useless. There used to be a very wonderful furniture showroom that I knew somewhere in the south of Nigeria, Calabar to be precise. And that place used to look so nice. There used to be lots of lovely things that we would pass. My dad was into furniture as well. So this was his friend. And we would pass and we would look at that building and really be awed. But over time, there was some court case that happened and the place had to be locked up. And you wouldn't believe, in the space of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, that building that initially looked like, state of the art with all you could think of in there. People, whenever they are passing, would slow down just to admire the beauty of the furniture pieces and all the, the works of art that were in there. But after a couple of years, because there was no activity, the place had been shut down. Nobody was opening the doors. Nobody could go in there. Nobody could open the windows. Before we knew what was happening, the place began to decay. Before our very eyes, we saw a place that was so beautiful and it transformed into something so hideous. As a matter of fact, a time came that we don't know how, but probably a tree started growing from in there until the tree even grew and bust the roof of that place. So you would pass and you would see a tree in the middle of what was the roof, and then branches, the place had become you know, something terrible, something like you would see in horror movies, just because there was a court case. But because nature abhors backward, because nature does not understand what it means to be inactive, nature began to take over that space. Nature began to take over that space, and that place that was useless now became occupied by something else. All right. So nature's economy is faultless. Nature will not be burdened with things that have ceased to be of service in her progressive workshop. Did you hear that? Nature will not be burdened with things which have ceased to be of service in our progressive workshop. So what does that mean? When I go to work, I am not just going because I need to make $1. I'm not just going because I need to make some naira. I'm not going to work because, oh, I need pounds. That's not why I work. I work because if I do not work, if I do not put in the required activity that is needed in life, nature will take over that thing. Nature forbids that anyone is useless. Nature forbids that anyone is inactive. All right. So the next slide. Wheresoever there is ability, the next slide, please. It says, wheresoever there is ability, there's also scope and opportunity. Now, wherever there is ability, there is also scope and opportunity. And where there is energy, there are also legitimate channels for its exercise. It means as long as your body can move, as long as you are breathing, as long as there are, energy functions that are happening on your inside, it means you have the ability to produce something. There are times that many people, say, I'm just lounging, I'm just resting. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you rest more than you walk, it then becomes a problem. And we must begin to challenge these mindsets that just want to have a good time. This mindset that just says that, oh, let's just make it in life and all of that. No, we must come to a place where we allow our minds to soar. We must come to a place where we are achievement ready at all times. We must understand that the energy that has been put in us is not just energy that is given for giving's sake, but the design of God is that we would work something out. All right? As the field waits for the plow, look at this quote. It's by James Allen. Look at this quote. Look at this quote on the next slide. Now it says, as the field waits for the plow, the sea for the sheep. Just imagine, I want you to paint in your mind's eye. The field is waiting for someone to come to plow it. All right. And the sea waits for the sheep. And the pot for produce. You're talking about the pots where things come in. You are importing things. All right. The pot is waiting for produce. It says, so nature in all her departments, whether material or mental, stands ready to cooperate with man in all his labors and to reward him according to his diligence and industry. Now, what does it mean? Just like the way you see a field, and that field will not resist a farmer. Just like the way you see a sea, and the sea will not resist the ship coming to sail on it. It's the same way it is that the entire universe, that nature, the earth, as God has designed it, is waiting for a man that will labor. If a man can choose to put in the required amount of labor, all right, if a man can desire and put in enough diligence into what he is doing, as they say, the sky is the limit, all right? So now work is of two kinds. When we're talking about work, there are two kinds of work. Now, there is either what we call the loving labor or enforced slavery. And I think at this point, I'll begin to break it down. There are two kinds of work, loving labor or enforced slavery. The man whose sole object is to get through his work in order to get his salary, in order to be paid for his service, but he has no love for what he's doing. He has no interest in what he's doing. He does not see it as anything other than cash. Just give me my money and let me go. You are actually a slave and not a true worker. if there is enforced slavery is that you are the one that has decided to enforce that slavery on yourself. You are the one that has decided to enslave yourself because you are not finding fulfillment in what you are doing. You are not seeing it other than just a way for you to make money. And so your heart, your mind, everything about you is not into that thing. Is this making sense? Everything about you is not into that thing. And so you now see yourself that even though you are free, even though you are not among those people that our forefathers came and captured with chains, and they carried you to go slave some plantation somewhere. You are not among those people, but you are still operating in some form of slavery. So you are walking without chains, but in your mind you are chained. Because the only thing you have seen about that job is that the job is just to give you money. All right? But on the contrary, we have the man whose heart is centered in his work. And I believe this so strongly. All right? We're on the next slide. We have the man whose heart is centered in his work. For the man whose heart is centered in his work, he aims at the perfect performance of his duty. It's not about the salary now. It's not about how much he's paid. It's not about how much is coming. But the man works according to the energy on his inside, not according to the pay that comes to him. Now, if we are going to be excellent, we are going to be enigmas, we are going to be brand, outstanding, iconic brand personalities, these are foundations we need to lay. We are not saying come and brand so that by the time you go and brand, you just go to throw products at someone, collect your money, and that's all about it. No, we want to see you 10x yourself. We want to see you 10x your performance. We want to see your mind shifting paradigms, that you take work as something that you do with your entire heart. Is this making sense? Let me see you in the comments. If you are there, I would like this comment box to be buzzing. I would like this comment box to be buzzing. I'm not seeing your comments. I'm not seeing your comments. If there is something outstanding, if there's something outstanding that you've heard, let me just give you a second or two to put that in the comment box. All right. Simka says we are soaking in. Didion says it's making a lot of sense. Let me see more of you. Tega says we're taking it in. Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, all right, all right. So a true worker whose usefulness and influence are cumulative. All right, 10x my performance. I see you, Idori, and thank you so much. All right, so the sevenfold usefulness of work. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can see your comments, Pastor Grace. Thank you, Chief Magistrate Afio. All right, the sevenfold fullness of work. Let's get to that before we move on. All right, now, the first thing, now, am I saying that you should not make profits? No, that's not what I'm saying. But we are saying that work comes in a sevenfold dimension. And until you understand this sevenfold dimension, you will not be able, thank you, honey, I can see you, it's making sense, thank you, I love you. All right, the sevenfold fullness of work. Work is seven dimensional, and until you understand the sevenfold dimensions of work, you will not maximize it. You will think the only reason why you do that job is to get money. Now, money is the first thing you get for any service you render, but it's the least of the usefulness of work. All right, it's the listing as far as work is concerned. The essence of work, apart from the money it gives you, is that it makes you useful. Money makes you, work rather makes you useful. The fact that you are meeting a need, providing a service, it means that as far as the world is concerned, nature has identified you. God has identified you. Angels have identified you as someone that is useful. All right, so money is the first thing you get, but you have also branded yourself as someone that is useful. Now you move from there. Work doesn't just make you useful. Work now makes you come to a place of excellence in that your chosen field. The idea behind work is not just to start at the bottom of the ladder. The idea is that as I grow in my usefulness, I also attain excellence. So even though I entered into the industry, entry level, probably I was maybe a financial, manager or something, and I entered the industry at that entry point, maybe at a, what's it called, in banks, teller. Maybe I entered the bank as a teller, or I entered the banking industry as a marketer. It's possible to grow through the ranks and then become so good at what you do, and it begins to elevate you. People then make you a reference point. People then make you a reference point. And what that does for you is that when you show excellence in your work, it then moves you to the next phase. And the next phase is power. Power is talking about you now becoming a person of authority in that field. All right. So there are people that have walked, like we have Ambassador Charles Otudo here. He's grown through the ranks. He's gotten to a level where he has become a mentor to many. My father in the Lord is here. He had served over 45 years in the ministry, and he's grown, and he's gotten to a place where he becomes a leader to other leaders. Now, if you don't understand that the essence of your work, even though you are at the entry point, is to move you from face to face, you will do work and only be receiving money. But this is the fullness of what work does for us. Not only does it make us useful, not only does it give us excellence or make us excellent people, because over time, by the time you master your craft, by the time you master the things you are doing, people now begin to make you the reference point, and you become an authority, and then you become independent. What that means is that you are not, this is where branding now comes in. People can look at you and say, oh, when it comes to so and so, when it comes to this area, this is the go-to person. You don't even need to market yourself much more. You get to a place where people bring honor to you, where people are the ones that do the celebrating. Yeah, people become your brand ambassadors. Is this making sense? People are the ones that talk about you. If you are looking for a judge that is forthright, this is the person to go to. Apion Simka is the person to go to. All right. So you become someone that people become your ambassadors. I can see you ID. So you want to be an ambassador. Now, the idea is that you grow to a point that people become your ambassadors, that people tell your stories, that people say you need to meet this person, that people are the ones that go on their own talking about you. All right. And then the last stage is happiness, because you actually feel fulfilled. You know you have given it your all. You didn't just stop at collecting your pay, but you put your all into it. All right. So my second thought I'd like to share on is courage. Courage. There are different types of courage. I'll run through this quickly. You have, courage, physical courage. Many times when you hear courage, as a matter of fact, when we're trying to prepare these slides, and my tech guy that I was working with, ASU, I know on his mind, seeing courage, the first thing you think of is a lion, something that does not fear and all of that. But like we say in VERITAS, what we are doing is challenging the conventional thinking. Many times, courage is not even about how you roar like a lion. Many times, courage comes in silence. Many times, courage is not about stepping up to your fears. Many of us have fears. Sometimes courage is not even going, there's this thing we say, gra-gra. It's not by gra-gra. Life doesn't work that way. Life doesn't really work that way. All right, let me share what is written here. Physical courage is of the animal. Moral courage is of the human. All right, I hope we can see that. Moral courage is of the human. But when you talk about new courage is of the divine. Please, I hope these slides have been, apart from being shared on the screen, I hope we have dropped them in the chat box so people can download. Please, you could help me drop that in the chat box. In case you have not downloaded it, you can do that. Oh, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so new courage is not talking about courage that is aggressive. New courage is not talking about I fear nobody. Oh, human courage. New courage is not talking about hey, I'm very bold. I don't take no for an answer. All right. New courage is described as the courage to be silent. The courage to be silent. All right. So that means that even when your brand or your personality many times is attacked, is because there's this thing they call dragging. You know how they drag you on social media? Have they dragged you before? If a customer has dragged you before, put it in the comments. You sold something to someone and they came back to say, this thing is not making sense. Madam, this is not what I ordered or what I ordered versus what I got. Has anybody dragged you before? Put it in the comment section. I want to see that. I want to see that because we live in a generation of dragging. And if you are going to build your brand, you need to understand how to handle dragging. Someone says dragging Pro Max, where someone will just come and you know you gave your best and you know you really did your best, you really tried, but the best they come and drag you. This is a generation that loves to drag. And if you think that you must respond to everything, then now becomes a problem. Courage many times is learning to be silent, that even when you are being attacked, I think I've moved 2 slides away from here. Please, if you could follow me. Courage is when you have been attacked, when you have been abused, you've been slandered, but many times you can choose to remain silent. This is not being proud. This is not a selfish silence, all right? Look at the last slide. It is silence that is based upon the right knowledge of life and having a profound and, beneficent purpose. This is not just, you are not silent because you are choosing to ignore them, but you understand how life works. That when they drag you and you go to drag them back, you know what they say about going to fight with a pig? Both of you will get stained in the mud, right? All right. So the purpose of being good and attacking the person and through him, all of mankind, by protecting him from the evil passion by which he is so injuriously influenced. What does that mean? Many times, people that drag others, people that ridicule people, there are issues that they have. There are things they are going through. The things they are going through a lot. Many people that drag online, many people that will try to drag your brand, drag you as a person, they are going through a lot. And many times, if you don't understand that they are going through a lot, and you choose to, be part of that dragging, you will only discover that, you shouldn't have been part of that in the first place because they won't stop. And the person won't stop. There's something that is fueling their aggression. Something is fueling their aggression. So many times you don't need to respond to everything negative that you hear. Bible also says that a soft answer will turn away wrath. All right. So many times you could choose to give the soft answer and exhibit new courage, which many times is silence. All right. So I'll share my power thoughts on thoughts. Let's move to the next slide. All right. So men live in spheres low or high. Does anyone have any question or any comments? Let me give us a few seconds. Does anyone want to unmute and say something about the 2 things we've shared so far? We've talked about work. We've talked about courage. Does anyone have anything you'd like to say? Anyone at all? Anyone at all? Is there something striking you've heard, something that you would like to, share? Anyone?
Yes, but I could share.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said very strikingly that there is courage in silence. So I don't have to react or respond to everything. That there is actually courage and power in staying silent, especially to things that don't necessarily have an internal effect or yes. So that's courage in silence.
All right, awesome, awesome. All right, Tegas says courage is the new silence, or silence is the new courage. You can turn it anyway. All right, thank you so much. All right, so let's go to thoughts. Men live in spheres low or high according to the nature of their thoughts. That's really profound. The world is as dark and narrow as we conceive it to be. And the world is also as expansive and glorious as our comprehensive capacity. Now, what does that mean? When they say to every man his own, it literally is talking about thoughts. Whatever you can think, whatever the condition of your mind, oh my God, I pray this, you can really soak this in as much as possible. That we live in spheres. We all choose our atmosphere. We all choose our spheres. We all choose our environment. We choose our possibilities. We all go to church probably on a Sunday morning. We hear the same message, but you are the one to choose your possibility. The preacher will tell you all he can. You come to VERITAS, you will hear all we are saying. But if your mind, if your thought life does not become enriched to believe that impossibilities do not exist as far as your brand, as far as you as a person, as far as your business is concerned, all what we're doing here would not really make sense. It would just be like, okay, yes, another retreat I attended, another summit, another online thing I attended. But you need to understand that in whatever we are doing, whoever speaks to you, whether it's a sage that speaks to you, whether it's a thought leader that speaks to you, whether it's a preacher, a prophet that speaks to you, if your thoughts are not able to align with the big picture that person sees, it then becomes like it becomes like a hindrance, so to speak, to that big thing that we are talking about here. All right. So everything about us, everything around us is tinged with the color of our thoughts. The way we relate with people, the choice of our food, the choice of our food, the choice of our clothes come from our thoughts. Have you ever thought about that? The reason why you are wearing what you are wearing right now, the function of your thoughts. It's not because what you are wearing is the only thing available in the market. Does that make sense? But you chose it. And when we were little, I remember my mom used to make me wear, ball, are they called ball gowns? Dresses. I would have those dresses and wear socks and have nice, shoes to go with them. So as independence happened, does anyone understand what I'm saying? As we got independent, our thoughts now began to say, all right, thank you. Thus far, God has been faithful. Yes, we've won all of that, but now the Lord will have us go on a new journey. And then we begin to alter. Have you ever asked yourself, you are now the one that goes into a boutique to pick your clothes. Ball dresses be gone. You are the one that goes into a boutique to pick your clothes. What makes you pick those particular colors? What makes you pick those particular hairstyles? What is it that has made you cook those particular meals in your home? You go to your home, there are meals that are very familiar. Some people's homes, they do more of cereal. I know someone that does majorly cereal. I know someone that does majorly cereal on this line. I didn't call any names. But you just ask yourself, what is it that has made me build my life like this? That if I open my wardrobe, the predominant color is green. If I open my wardrobe, the predominant or the kinds of shoes you would see, they are stilettos, or would they more be like functional work shoes? What made you go and purchase all those items? It's because your thoughts, there's a way your mind has been conditioned. Now, imagine how powerful your mind is, that it has helped you to organize your life that way. Imagine if you bring this same power of your mind. Imagine if you bring the same power of thoughts and you begin to channel it into your business. You begin to channel it into your brand. Because the problem is not that Nigeria is not working. We are global citizens. The problem is not that Nigeria is not working. The problem is actually that we have conditioned ourselves to think Nigeria, and we are not looking at things globally. So if Dr. Charles Otudo comes to give you the secrets of branding, and you are still Tinubuing and Buhari has left, you are still talking about him, it then becomes a challenge. All right. So each man moves in the limited or expansive circle of his own thoughts, and all outside that circle is non-existent to him. If you have made up your mind that your business can only produce 100K a month, you would not believe it when someone tells you they are doing that same business and producing more. They are putting in the same hours you are putting in and producing more. So what you need to do at that point, you need to expand your mind. You need to expand your mind. You need to grow to a place. Stretch your mind. Bring your mind to a place of possibilities. Bring your mind to a place of possibilities. Now, I'll talk about this as we go on. Let me not dwell on that too much, because when we talk about enrichment, when we go to enrichment, it will be easy to understand. All right, how much time do I have left? If you could send me a private message so I could see. All right. All right. Now, the next one I think you will find interesting. The next one I think you'll find interesting. Let's share our power thoughts, VERITAS power thoughts on prosperity. Moving on to prosperity. All right. On prosperity. When you talk about prosperity, you know, many times we talk of building a business. I want to build my business. I want to build my career. I want to build my ministry and all of that. Yeah. And it's true, we need to build these things. And that is really the way to look at it, like we are building. But you know, for buildings to happen, foundations are really important. For buildings to happen, foundations are really important. All right. So we're looking at prosperity, but prosperity is a roof. Prosperity is just what comes. There are things. All right. I've seen my message. I've seen my time. All right. Thank you. All right. So prosperity is what covers us. Prosperity is like the icing on the cake. But there are things that have been done at the foundation level. There are things that have provided the building blocks for us to be able to get to the roof. You can't take a roof and put it on. You can't take a roof and put it on the foundation. All right. You can't take a roof and just put it on a land. You just go and clear land. Then you say, hey, where's that roof? Come and put this roof here. Just imagine that you go and clear land, then you go and pay for roof. No, roof is the last thing. And so as we go through life, we see that prosperity is the last thing, because there are other things that if they are in place, it's easy for prosperity to come. I hope this is making sense. All right. So there's the foundation you need to lay. There are the building blocks you need to put in place. And then prosperity just comes and sits pretty like a cap, like prosperity is just there looking so sweatless. You remember the affirmations we made? Wealth without stress, you know, I prosper, you know, without struggle. And it's not just because you are saying it that it will happen. These things are happening, you see, because you have put the right foundation and the building blocks in place. That is how abundance now comes to sit on what already exists. All right. All right, so the roof of prosperity is supported by the following 8 pillars, which are cemented in foundation of moral consistency. So we have these 8 pillars, all right? We have these 8 pillars, and these 8 pillars actually are what lays the foundation for our prosperity. The first being energy. We had talked about energy already when we started. We talked about work. All right, how you need to be, you know, engaged in something and do it with all your heart. All right, please, I would like the chat box. Let me be sure you are following me. We talked about energy. Now, sympathy. Sympathy is one of the foundations that lead to our prosperity, because you see, sympathy when we say sympathy, it's not just sympathy that is not sympathy that is channeled to any and everything. There's got to be something that you are empathic about. There's got to be something that breaks your heart. There's got to be something this is where we talk about action. As a matter of fact, when we talk about action, it means you know that as someone that is providing service, probably you are into food business. You need to know that there's someone that is stressed. That person wakes up early, leaves the house, say at 5 a.m. That person is trying to make ends meet. That person, you need to begin to visualize the people you serve, the tribe that you are called to serve. You need to understand their challenges, their pain points. And you do your service, you provide your service, make your products available after walking in the shoes of the people you serve. All right. So you know this person has woken up 5 a.m., cannot do much. This person will really have loved to have a hot meal in their homes, but they left so early they couldn't get that done. And now they've been walking from about 7:30 and they have a break at 12. And it's my responsibility to provide them with a meal when they come to me. If I take all those things into consideration, knowing that person has been through a lot, that person has gone through a lot, the way I would serve them, the meal will be different. And that's why we say you don't just go after money. You've got to bring empathy. You've got to bring passion. You've got to understand, why is this customer here at this time? Why did he decide to show up? Our beautiful anchor for this event, you know, she's an event compare, and she even when I said to her, you're going to be please comparing this event for us, and she said, it will be my pleasure. She still asked to set up a meeting with me, and we had to, you know, keep going back and forth until we could eventually meet. We eventually met, and it was a one-on-one meeting. She didn't even do it over the phone. And she asked me, what is your heart? What really is it about Veritas? I'd like to hear you share. And then she shared an experience she had with me. And at that point, there was some connection that happened. Why? Because she understood that there was something I was trying to do. And then she wasn't just coming to provide a service. She was like, there are things that, you know, talk to me. Let me know what's on your mind. And many times we need to be that way with our tribe, with the people that we are called to, the people we serve. We don't just say, okay, we have all the energy, but we don't think about how these people feel. All right, let's go to economy. All right, let me not stay there too much. Sympathy and sincerity. All right, when you are sympathetic towards someone, it's easier to be sincere towards them. It's easier to say, okay, this person has been through a lot. Let me not give them bad food. Yes, I bought this chicken, and this chicken cost me a lot. That I couldn't sell it all off. And even though the thing has gone off in taste, and just do it like that, add pepper, they would not know. Don't do that. Please, don't do that. Don't add pepper. Just so you would sell. Because it looks like pepper makes everything all right. Don't add pepper, don't add onions to try to get the taste right. The person has already gone through a lot. So why should they buy your food and now go to buy Imodium or something? Please. All right, so when you are sympathetic, you will be sincere and you would follow the best practices as far as your industry is concerned. Economy, you need to understand that we function by many economies. It's not just what the economy of Nigeria is. You as a person, for prosperity to happen, you must understand the different sets of economies that you flow in as a person. Number one, there's the knowledge economy. The knowledge economy talks about the things that you know. What are the mental assets, so to speak, that you have required? They are intangibles. These are the intangibles, the things that we cannot really touch, but we can experience by our contact with you. So when you learn something like customer service, you have added to your knowledge economy. Someone will come to your outfit, your outlet, or your office, you know, wherever you're transacting, doing business. The person will not see customer service written like a banner. But in interacting with you, the person will know that you know something different, that where you're coming from is different. All right, so there's the knowledge economy. When you're talking about prosperity, you also need to think about the skill economy. How skilled am I? How skilled am I? Am I skillful enough? What are the things I am doing? And what makes those things stand out? How skillful am I? There are times that all right, okay. I saw what a great insight to the different economies. Knowledge economy. All right, awesome. Thank you for sharing. All right, so the skill economy talks about what you can do, what you have been skilled. There's a time I met someone. He used to do laundry for me. That was in another city where I lived. I lived in Calabar at some point. So it's a guy that used to do my laundry. And then I went to get my clothes one day. He wasn't there. And he said to me, "Madam, I'm at work. But just give me a while. I'll soon be there." So I was surprised. I'm at work. But I'm in his, laundry, outlet. And he said, "I'm at work." And I kept thinking, I just sat in the car and I kept waiting. I was like, let me just wait for this guy to come and understand what he means by he's at work. But somehow in my mind, I was like, he probably has a civil service job or something and all that. So when he came, I said, Chairman, you say you didn't work. Which work did that work? Not be your work with this. Thank you. I've seen my time. Thank you. I was like, not be work with this. He said, "Oh no, say this one now business, the other one now handwork." I said, "That one is what?" He said, "He's a welder." I said, "You are a welder?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, you are a welder and a dry cleaner." He said, "Yes." Then he said, "This one now business, the other one now handwork." Our brothers from the East, they don't play. So talking about the skills economy, there are things that you can understand better if I say handwork, what you can do with your hands. Then there's also something different that can be like a business that you engage in. So many times we try to focus more on our businesses and not our skills. But for prosperity to happen, you need to harness these diverse economies, the skill economy, whatever it entails, whether it's through running a business, whether it's through doing something with your hands, whether it's about you painting. There are many of us that are good artists. All right. So take note of the economy. All right. And the next foundation for prosperity, I'll share integrity. We've touched on that. Integrity is not 2 + 2 = 10. You should know that by now, right? All right. Integrity is what you do even when no one is watching. Like we talked about the ad Pepe. Please, if you say we serve fresh food, let it be fresh food. All right. And then impartiality. That means that you have grown to a place of providing service, that you do not say, because I am providing for this person, I give them better. Oh, this person is my friend, so because they are coming to me for service, I will do more than I will do for someone I don't know. And all I will do is collect money from the other person. I won't go the extra mile. For prosperity to happen, there must be impartiality in what we are doing. All right, then we talk about systems. I put up a post recently on my Facebook. I said we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. All right, the systems are the things that are almost like putting your life or your business on autopilot. You are just automated. You move from here to there. Everything understands how it works. All right. If you're growing a business, if you are trying to walk into prosperity, you should not be someone that the entirety of the business revolves around you. And when you are not available, the business cannot happen. When you are not at home, your home cannot run. What's going on? This is where systems come in. That whether you are there or not, at 12 noon, everybody at home knows this is the drill. This is what we do. At 7 p.m., everybody knows this is the drill. This is what we do, regardless of who is there or who is not there. We know that once it's 8 a.m., our doors open, 7:30, we've done our prayers, regardless of who is there or not. We set systems in place, and systems should not really be built around you as a person. That's not, you are not going to be, you're not going to prosper that way. You need to build a system for your brand that operates seamlessly, regardless of whether you are an introvert and extrovert. How does that come in? Whether you are introverted or extroverted, that should not reflect in your business. Say, okay, because I'm an introvert, in this office, we don't on lights. In this office, we don't turn on lights because I'm an introvert. No. All right, you put systems in place. You separate yourself from your business processes. All right, then self-reliance. That means you believe in your ability to be. Remember, we talked about confidence. You believe that you are responsible for the failures and the successes. You believe you are responsible. If things, the last self-reliance means that you know also that you have within you all the resources, everything that it takes for you to succeed. All right. So I will take the next 3-4 minutes. I think I have about 5 minutes. I have about 5 minutes to talk about life enrichment. Let's go quickly to life enrichment. Now, for us in Veritas, we believe that we must live lives that are enriched, lives that don't just revolve around wake up in the morning, eat breakfast, go to work, come back. No. All right, let's look at enriching activities. There are things that I would like you to challenge yourself to do. All right, you look at the rest of the slides, but let's look at enriching activities. All right, things you must challenge yourself to do after Veritas. Challenge yourself to learn a new language. I tried to learn Mandarin. It's going a bit well, but learn a new language. I'm still learning Ibibio, so that also counts for me. So I know this my compare still learning Ibibio, but challenge yourself to learn a new language. What that does for you is that it opens your mind. It opens your mind. Don't let your brain just, when you say lockdown, COVID-19 happened and there was a lockdown. Don't let your brain also be on lockdown. Learn a new language. Many times we feel that the brain has lost its capacity, to be able to learn new things, but learn a new language. Learn how to play an instrument. Now, these are things I'm not saying because I feel you are jobless or you do not have what to do. These are creative activities that stimulate your creative juices and make you come alive in ways that you've not known. About 2 weeks ago, I was in our church on a Sunday evening. No one was there. I do that from time to time. I uncovered the drums and I started playing. I had some music in the background and I was trying to play, to fit into the music and all of that. But it just helps you, to dispel bad energy, and then you are taking in something. So great, why are you laughing? My husband drums, so it's only natural. But I was drumming before I met him. All right. So learn how to play an instrument, even if it's a flute in your house. Put the flute, put it in your, in between your lips. Start blowing. When you hear the sounds that come out, you will laugh. You will laugh. You will laugh. Then over time, you will get better. All right. Travel and explore new places. All right. Create art and other creative pursuits. All right. Most times, don't say that drawing is for people that love to draw. You as a person, take a pen, paper sometimes, start drawing something. You know how children are so imaginative, and they don't waste time in drawing. Small thing, they have drawn you. Your child will just draw you, say, mommy see you, daddy see you. It's the same thing. You should let your mind explore. When you draw, there's a part of your brain that comes alive because your imagination is coming alive. Not every day Gary, not every day fufu, not every day rice, not every day yam. Sometimes take a pen and paper out and draw. All right. Gideon says recently she learned to use Canva. Or you can draw digitally. All right. Do a lot of reading, do a lot of exercising, enriching thoughts. Mindfulness entails completely immersing your mind in the present moment. All right. Soul detox. Soul detox. People who have experienced traumatic events will often experience changes within their brains. All right. So many times you can see that because you've experienced, maybe a bad relationship or a business deal went wrong. Now, whenever you meet someone that's bringing another business deal, it may be legit, but your mind goes into, there's this mode called fight, flight, or freeze mode. And then even though that business that is coming now is safe, but because of the bad experience you had, you then decide to shut down. This is not the year we shut down. This is the year that we believe that we are led by the Spirit of God. This is the year that we say we are taking no for an answer. And if God brings opportunities our ways, it doesn't matter whether MMM ate our money, we're going to take new opportunities, all right? We will do them with the Spirit of God. We will do them with great exercise of the spirit of discernment, and God will not lead us into evil. God will not lead us into temptation. All right, so these are my opening power thoughts for us here at Veritas. I hope you've gotten something out of it. Edidion, you can take it away. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ma. It's been such a great pleasure listening to you, and of course, mind-blowing thoughts you have shared there. I would like to ask, in the next few minutes, I would like to hear some responses. If there is anything she said that struck your soul in very great ways, please, I would like you to unmute your mics and please share. Or if you would like to write in the comment section, fine, but I would really love to hear your voices. For me, I would like to start. For me, she said very strikingly that we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. That was mind-blowing. And it's so true because year after year, I keep making goals. And at the end of the year, I'm like, how far now? The goals did not come to pass. But when we have a system, things just work effortlessly. She also said men live in spheres, high or low, according to the nature of their thoughts. So thoughts are really important. The Bible, of course, says, as a man thinketh, so is he. That was really mind-blowing, Ma. Thank you so much. So do we have anyone that would like to share what you heard that struck your soul? Anyone, please do unmute and share. Or if you have a question you would like to ask, something you didn't quite understand that you would like verification, anyone, please? Okay. Okay, I don't think there is anyone for now, and I haven't gotten any response. Okay, Mr. Ajana says, beautiful and very insightful session. I also love that part saying we can't really function without systems. Yes, of course, I loved that too. We fall to the level of our systems. Thank you so much for sharing. Would any other person like to share? Okay. But if while we go on, if you do have anything you would like to share, please, you could just drop it in the comments section. And right now we will be moving on to the next item for the day. And this, I'm sure, is one item that we all would enjoy. I would like to start by saying a quote I recently read about. It says, when individuals rise, their communities will rise, and ultimately the nation will rise. These are thoughts often communicated by our next speaker. He is Africa's foremost and premier brand strategist, a strategic thought lead and businessman. He is the principal consultant of Abstract Branding Management Consortium, handling accounts of brands spanning aviation, fashion, telecommunications, entertainment, and even the pharmaceutical industries. In 2005, he entered the Junior Chamber International Hall of All-Time Fame of Exemplary Leaders, becoming the fourth individual to be so honored in the history of the Nigerian chapter of the organization, amongst other awards and recognitions. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about none other but our next speaker to take us on a session branding. Let's welcome, please, Ambassador Dr. Charles Otudor. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir.
I'm here. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Welcome, sir.
I'm worried about the quiet amongst the audience. So I'm going to shake things up a bit. Let's do something now. Let's have a praise and worship session for only 3 minutes. If I don't hear the chorus behind, I will not present. So if you want to hear me speak, you better be responding to the messages. All of you are just you've eaten a ban, amala, and all those things this morning. You are not responding to Messi speaks. Messi has been speaking for almost 1 hour. None of you are responding. Wake up!
Because we need set our mics.
Too much fufu and pande, too much fufu. Let's have a praise and worship session. Let's start. Hallowed be your name. Hallowed be your name. Hallowed be your name. Lord of
Majesty,
divine authority. Oh,
hallowed be your name.
Who is like unto thee, oh Lord?
Who is
Who is like
unto thee,
oh Lord? Among the gods, who is like thee, holiest in glory?
In holiness and fearful in praises.
Always do
That's
my last track. Oh Lord, our God, excellent your name. Oh, the earth, our oh,
Lord our God, how
we're in the spirit. Let's go.
No,
How
excellent
Your name.
I'm going to pray. I'm going to go into Yoruba now. Olúwa, Olúwa wa, orúkọ rẹ̀ ní tító ní gbogbo ayé o. Orúkọ rẹ̀ ní tító. Jehovah, you are
most
high.
Jehovah, Jehovah, you are Jehovah, the most. Father in heaven, I thank you for this opportunity to speak truth to power. Even as I speak, Father God, use me to transform lives and destinies. Thank you for the platform. Thank you for Mercy Speaks. I pray that, Father God, this will become a permanency in our landscape. I pray that you promote her and use this platform to promote other people. I transfer my blessings to everybody on this platform. I thank you, Father God, for your blessings. I thank you, Father God, for the opportunity to speak truth to power. Once again, let no man take the glory for your works. Neither can I. I'm honored, I'm honored, and I'm honored. Let's start. My presentation, please. Mercy, you have my presentation on your screen now. You have it. I sent you. Can they?
Yes, it's coming up.
Okay, fantastic. Me, I'm about to start. I'm in a hurry and my body is hot.
We are ready, sir.
Okay. I'm talking about personal branding. A lot of people there's a lot of misconceptions. Okay, let me just recap from what you said, Mercy, in your presentation about consistency, diligence, taking the moment. They are all in synergy with my thoughts, and I agree with you, and I'm proud of you. Awesome job. Your presentation, in fact, at the point that I was asking myself, what am I presenting again now? If Mercy has presented all this one, I should just tell her to present my presentation. But it occurred to me that there are a lot of elements about misconceptions about personal brands. Let me start with this first. A lot of people assume that they get paid, they get jobs without working. No, you build your brand consistently over time. People come to you. Let me give you a case study, for instance. I have one of my biggest clients across Africa. My spiritual father is the CEO of that company, the MD CEO. Recently, the group MD, who is not Nigerian, just died. He didn't call me. I was talking to him on Thursday. He didn't talk to me about the burial. I said, I miss you. I want to hang out with you. He said, I miss you too. That's my personal relationship as a Christian with him, not business. Now, people make a mistake of mixing the things up. Your spiritual life and your relationship with your mentor is different from your business life with your mentor. So your personal must have a navigational tool where you can stop. Don't ever ask them for help. Ask them for business. It is important to separate the personal brand relationship from the corporate. And so the man somebody sent me a message 3 a.m. this morning from London. Our MD has just died. We need you to manage it. Normally, he's the one that will tell me that they are calling me. He didn't tell me. He has handed me over to the dogs. Now, when I say the dogs, that means the people that make sure I get paid. Now, normally, that man will tell me, Charles, this person will call you. But out of respect, and I've maintained the way I maintained my relationship with him, he trusts me enough now to tell these people to call me directly. In your personal brand navigation, separate your personal. Victor, take. Sorry, I have a call coming. Answer this person. I don't know. I'm on the call. So we separate. The first thing we should do is separate your personal from your corporate. Okay?
Yeah.
Always separate the personal from the corporate. No matter how close you are with the person, you must ensure you separate the personal from the corporate. Okay? Okay, now let's move on. Today I want to talk about personal brand navigation. What is personal branding? Before I answer, no, you are going too fast. Can you go back? What is personal? I want to get your input from your point of view, all of you. What is personal branding? What is personal brand to you guys?
To me, sir, may I go on? Personal branding I would say people's perception, the way people's perception of me, what people perceive I am, how they take me, which is mostly based on what I have put out to them over time. Thank you.
Perception. Okay. Who else? This is a group activity. If you notice at the bottom of this, it said group activity. That we are all in a group. Everybody must contribute, or else I will not proceed. Me, I'm very stoic. I will not go further until all of you speak. Okay. Telling the world about me from TJ. Okay, go ahead. You don't have to speak. You can just send a chat. I'm watching. I'm reading everything. Okay. Go ahead.
My personal branding, my style of
Sorry.
producing. My style, SCYLE.
Okay. 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 Next. Who else? I'm waiting. No, this will possible. We must all speak. Everybody.
I must say such a way that
This my voice. Who be this one? Who won't terrorize me for this platform? Messi. Who be this one you bring come this platform? See him voice. Be like Shego arrange the voice. His voice is a terrorist type. Is terrorizing me on my own platform. Okay, I'll do him later. Oh, I like this. Personal branding is about, oh, wow. Let's talk about it. Now, let me tell you what I think about personal branding. Personal branding is a process, not about design or whatever. It's a long-term process where you put in place a strategy that defines number one, you define, who am I? It's not about just so it's not about just sit down. It's not about just you telling yourself you are organized. No, it's about putting in place first of all, a brand. Let me tell you the first step. Your personal brand audit. Who are you? All of us came into this world with preconceived notions of who we are. So you must deliberately define who you are. So put in place a strategy. Ask, who am I? Don't assume you are who you are not. See, a lot of doctors are now shoemakers. A lot of shoemakers are now doctors. They are not happy where they are because their parents forced them to go and study what they didn't want to study. It's not in their character. It's not in their nature. So they went and just went to school for the wrong reasons. Now they finished school, finished NYSC, but guess what? They're not happy. So when you ask about personal branding, it's you deciphering who you really are. And I like what Mercy Speaks said. She says it's about you determining who you are. So personal branding is not about what they say or what people say or the mirror. No. Personal branding stands with you internally, telling yourself some truths and defining who you are. If you cannot define who you are, nobody can define who you are. It's not about communication. It's not about telling the world the stories. No, it's about you telling yourself the truth about who you are and defining who you are and owning that space. Once you can define it, it is yours. You can claim it, and then next step is consistently delivering the values based on your truth. I'm spending a lot of time on this question because a lot of people mix it up. They mix it with design, strategy, branding. No, it's a personal decision, and it takes only the human elements, the human. All the people on this platform should sit down today and ask themselves, who am I? They should not assume. Because they love afang does not mean that they should love afang. Some of them might like okra soup, not because their grandmother gives them the soup all the time till they grew into it. No, some of them don't. They even hate the soup. Just a case study. But they don't have the courage to say no because they've not defined who they are. I love football, but I don't watch football. But I love to drive, speed racing. But the best part of me is sitting down to study and do research and write strategy. Look, take that away from me, I'm dead. Today, I entered my office by 7 a.m. I'm in my office talking to you guys now. I got into my house yesterday by 1:30 a.m., went for a meeting, but I woke up before 12 a.m. to sit here because I have a personal relationship with branding and strategy, and then this, my, I don't want to describe my message, protégé par excellence. Okay, have I clarified this personal branding? Anyone wants to say anything? The group activity has not ended though. Only 3 people have confirmed their, let me see. Any contribution? Further contributions? None? Wow, I can see all the charts. Awesome. Can we go ahead? Can we proceed? It begins with me. I love this. Fantastic. Eddie Jong says it begins with me. Okay. Next slide, please. Let's move. Now, let's look at this. Look at these statistics. A lot of people believe that personal branding is not important. I made more money last year than my company made. And I told them they should reverse it. I can't be doing all the work. Everyone is chasing me. They're not chasing. But it has changed because we changed our strategy. Less focus on my personal brand, more focus on the corporate. But last year was phenomenal. I made over 100 million from just speaking engagement. But later, we made almost 200 million as Astra because I changed the strategy. I told my team, stop pushing me out. Push the corporate. 77% of recruiters rely on LinkedIn. See that place? LinkedIn is not for gossip. To reach out to prospective candidates about job opportunities. How many of you have your personal brand on LinkedIn? Let me see your hands in the corner. I don't see any hand though. Me, I don't take prisoners. I will start the vex. Where are the people on LinkedIn? Okay, let me see. How many people are on LinkedIn? Okay. This one, Action doesn't have. Yes, I am. Edition has. Okay. But how professional is your page? We need to discuss that at the end of this session. I will give you a guide on how you can make your page attractive, not to recruiters, but people that want you to engage you to do some work for them so you can get paid. Not everybody must become an entrepreneur, but everybody can become an intrapreneur where you can earn an income from every platform. They can engage you, you deliver on the process, and then get paid. While you're still working somewhere else, you can working for people online. It works. LinkedIn is one of the biggest platforms. But if your personal brand does not resonate, nobody will talk to you. So I ask again, how is your platforms or your social media platforms? It needs to be engaging. You need to write a statement, your vision, mission statement. We're going to get that next. That talks about who you are as an individual. That's personal branding. Money does not fall from trees. It comes to you if you are well positioned to earn that income. Somebody says, mine is not okay. We're going to fix it later as we go. I think Taja says, mine is not okay. We're going to fix it at the latter part. Let's focus on the content. Recruiters look at people on social media. They watch everything you post. Ensure that your posts are positive, not negative. Don't comment on all those crap, suicide things. Stay in your lane. The internet does not forget to. It doesn't forget. Cold water, come. Check the freezer. The internet does not forget. Sorry, I'm not alone. I'm my office assistant. I need water. No, the freezer. Next slide, please. Now, see what I was talking about last time, in my last slide. Your online presence matters. You see, your personal brand, well, we are going to your personal branding later, but that is not your personal brand. Your online tools are channels, not your personal brand. They're just channels and amplifiers that amplify your voice and your positioning. A lot of us make the mistake to think that our personal brand is online. No, that's why, let me go back to my first slide, talking about defining who you are. See, look at this thumbprint. No two thumbprints are the same. God created all of us different. Why can't we create our own based on God's plan for us? Define yourself, make yourself distinct. Now, let me show you something. If you see the photograph on my screen, see my leke. This, it was been through my 50th birthday by Lam Shola, Felajo Choi, and Lakoni Sorinyo. Only 4 of us wear this. I was brought into that community when I turned 50. It's here. Now, your community is important. Your relationships are important. You need to also invest in those relationships. It's not about hearsay. It's not about surface. It's about you consistently delivering on your promises. So when you define your personal brand, people respect you because you are consistent. The last point for me on that point is being consistent. You define yourself, you create your strategy. If you don't know how to create a strategy, ask for help. You can ask Mercy. She's a verified partner on this project now. She's gone through a lot of process with me and I trust her. Or you tell her you want to have a collaboration with somebody else, she'll help you. But you need to stay in your lane. Be consistent. The most critical aspect of personal branding is consistency and discipline. You lack it, you lose it. Let me go back to my slide, please. Let me round up. Okay, so it's not about just your online being present online. It's about your brand defined, then you bring it back, then you stay, and you can choose your channels. Not everybody must be on every platform. A lot of people make a mistake. Let me put my light on. Make it see my face well. A lot of people make the mistake of assuming that they must be on every platform, social media, LinkedIn, this one, this. Define your channel. What are you selling, number one? Who are your target audience? Define them. Define your parameters. If you do not define your parameters, you'll be sent to wrong people. Now, your channels do not have to be the channels that everybody uses. Victor! Sorry, today is a Saturday and I'm working in the office. They're calling for Sky. Sorry, guys. Please, can I pause? My godfather, my spiritual father is calling me. Please, just 1 minute, please.
Okay, I'm sure he would get back to us as soon as possible. So we'll just hang on a bit. But while he's yet to get back to us, I think we could share on a few things he had said earlier. One thing that stood out for me was that my personal branding, it begins with me. It begins with how I see myself. It begins with who I am. So he asked one very critical question: who are you? Because who are you is what you would eventually communicate to others. And he also said your online presence matters, but that is not your personal brand. That is not your personal brand. Is there anyone that would also like to share what they've heard so far while waiting for him to return? I see Madam Mercy smiling, ma. There's something on your mind. Please do share. Please unmute your mic, ma, and do share.
Okay. All right. So it's actually Daddy that sent a chat. That's why I'm smiling. Daddy is on following and is listening.
Okay.
Yes, that is on. So I'm shocked. I'm surprised. I thought he probably, would just pop in and, but he's here and he's following. So that's what's making me excited.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Yes, good afternoon, Daddy. Good to have you here. Mr. Tega says consistency and discipline are key. You lack it.
Tega is female.
So I'm not.
Okay, please go ahead. Go ahead, Ma. Please, you could speak.
I'm female. I'm not male.
I'm sorry. Please, you could speak up. You could go ahead and speak.
I've checked already. You know, assume who. I mean, that one like just fits me. And also, I mean, you said the personal branding part, but another one that hit me was when he said consistency and discipline are key, and you lack it to lose it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Consistency and discipline are key. You lack it, you lose it. Do not assume who you are. Do not assume you are who you are not. Very strikingly. So don't take up an identity that you are not. Okay, I see a chat from Archbishop Cletus Bassi. He says, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for being here. It shows fatherhood. Thank you so much for being here, sir. We're glad you're here. Oh, I see a hand by Monet. Good afternoon. Please go ahead. Moni Adams, I see a hand. You may speak, please.
Okay, okay, it's 12 already. Good afternoon,
Yes.
everyone. So I think for me, just to say something slightly different from what everyone has shared, it's the power of relationships, because he made reference to that, and I think they are very large, to use the word he used in the slides. They are also amplifiers, your own community and all that. So about being intentional with that. So yeah, that's what I.
Thank you so much, Monique. The power of relationships and being intentional about keeping and maintaining relationships. I see a chat from Mr. Joseph Isaac. He says, stay focused on your lane. That's a striking one. Stay focused on your lane. If you're a marathoner, stay focused on that. If you're a sprinter, stay focused on that. Thank you very much, sir. Anyone else would like to share?
Okay.
Okay, Ma, please go ahead.
Mine is on target audience. We just recreated what I had in my spirit while I was in the restroom this morning. I was like, if I want to sell food now, who are my target audience? So my mind went to State Secretariat. If you go there in the afternoon with packed food, people will be hungry and they will buy. So when he said have target audience, I said, okay, so you're on the right track. Just happy.
Thank you so much, Ma. Yes, your target audience is very important. Who your target audience is would also determine how you serve them. Thank you so much, Ma. I see a chat by from Mrs. Papillo. Carve a niche for yourself. Carve a niche for yourself. That's a great one, Ma. Thank you so much for sharing. Please, would any other person like to share? Okay, Dr. Charles is still asking for a few more minutes. Okay, so please, would any other person like to share what you've heard so far, and probably maybe not even from his session. We had a previous session by Pastor Mercy. If you would like to share on that too, that is welcome, please.
Okay, mine is on the 10x performance. I don't noted it somewhere that I'll ask her later.
Please go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, I was gonna ask what the 10x performance was about, because I saw it on chat and it's like I missed the question.
Okay, so that's 10x. Okay, so yes, it's basically trying to get your mind, do you remember your multiplication timetable? 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 4, and all of that. Yeah, some of us were only good at 2. Once it got to 3, it lost some people. All right. But You know, 10x is really from there. 2 times 1, 3 times
Sorry,
1. Okay, all right.
sorry.
Oh,
Victor, sorry,
welcome
I
back, sir.
apologize.
Yes, sir.
I think my chief of staff was somewhere here. I can't find him again. Where's Munir?
Yeah.
Munir Adams.
Munir Adams is online. He's here.
The man that refused to let me go.
He even made a comment. He said some things while
Yeah.
we were going. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Munir, where are you there now? You know, talk. Okay, sorry, that's a call from a major client. And I apologize for that. Normally, I don't mix personal and corporate, but this was important. It's a GMD of, it's a venture client and a call, and it's a Saturday. For the GMD to be calling on the weekend means it's important. I apologize. Let's proceed. Okay, so your personal brand navigation is important because it curates and creates your space, not just short term, mid-term, and long term. Please, can I have my slides back up, please? Okay, so remember what I was talking about. Your online presence matters, but it's not about your online presence, not about the channels and amplifiers, but about your personal brand strategy first. Is your brand defined? Based on that, you can decide to use your channels and the amplifiers. The amplifiers are the platforms that you use to create the awareness about who you are. But who are you? Who are we? Who am I? Who's Messi? Who's whoever? Who's Buhari? Who's Ambode? Who's whoever? Elon Musk has created his brand for himself. He is consistent. He wants to consistently disrupt. I think he hates normal and he's defined himself. So in this platform now, let's ask a question. Who wants to be different? This is about being a brand of your own. Who wants to be different on this platform? Show me your hand in the comment section. Messi is already different. She's now Messi Speaks. She moved the husband's name, put Messi Speaks as a brand platform. She didn't say Messi Isaacs, she said Messi Speaks. I remain Charles Otudo. I'm okay with that. The interpreter to meeting, okay, oh, interpreter. This one, okay. Okay, go ahead. Edidion, talk. Edidion, speak out.
Yes, sir. Yes, you asked who wants to be different, so I lifted my hand. I want to be different.
Okay, are you Edidion? Oh,
yes, I
sorry.
am.
Okay, next slide, please. Let's move. Next slide. Next slide. Now look at this. Personal branding is about crafting a unique and valuable identity. So who are you? Are you unique? Are you valuable? It is intentionally crafting your unique story. Remember what I said, your story must be unique to you, not about me or any other person else. If you want to become a globally recognized person or a brand, you must be intentional. You must be unique. So look at the market and say, I don't like this market. I want to be different. So fix yourself. But you have to define your personal brand DNA so that you are not a passover or pass off. A lot of brands copy. There's a lot of copycats in the market. They copy. They look at what you've done, they copy you, and they look at like what you are, but that's not who you are. You are different. It is intentionally crafting your unique story and value. You must decide. After defining your brand, craft your unique story. Every day I sit in my office and I sit with my team once in a while and I say, I'm not happy where I am. I want to be different. They said, but you're already here. No, don't be content with where you are. Be hungry for more because the market will catch up with you soon. They'll copy you. You must be unique and valuable. Don't forget, your value, your viability in the market is based on your authenticity. not where you are before. Let me repeat again. Where you are yesterday is different from where you're going to be next tomorrow. You need to keep on crafting your strategy to move on to the next level. Don't be comfortable with where you are. So in building a personal or corporate brand, you must be insatiable. You must be intentional. And you must be consistent. That way you can create a brand that is valuable. What is valuable? It means that people can place a premium. No, let me scratch that. You place a premium on yourself. You place a premium on yourself first. If you do not place a premium on yourself, nobody can value you. You will decide based on your strategy. This is what I'm worth. This is my value now. This is what I want to get paid for all my services or whatever I want to do. That's simple. That is value. Nobody should define your value. You define your value first by crafting your strategy. But you must be intentional. Next slide, please. The key elements of a strong brand. Visibility, number one. Visibility, you must be visible. If you're not visible, let me even scratch that. Let me go to the elements. For me, number one is consistency. You must be consistent. You must be consistent. But go up, you look at authenticity. Are you real? A lot of brands are now based on BOI and AI. Are you real? You must be visible, but you must be authentic. Your content must be authentic. Authentic. You must be authenticated. So based on authenticity, you go to consistency. You must be consistent. But there's a dangerous part, which is repetition. What are you known for? A pastor was just jailed for life for raping a woman. Are you guys aware of it? I can't hear you.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
News. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
A pastor in the house of the Lord jailed for life for raping somebody. Jailed. That was a hard sentence, but it was what I looked at it. But guess what? The man had reputation, but did not have consistency and no authenticity. It was visible. Even when he went to court and was saying he is not guilty, he's not guilty. But the evidence was clear. What are you known for? What are you all known for? You must be known for something. Look at these elements: authenticity, consistency, reputation, clarity, and visibility. Let me go to clarity. You must have a clear-cut strategy that defines you. Clarity is important. Clarity is most critical because it gives you your vision. Now, let me start like this: clarity, authenticity, consistency, reputation, then last one, visibility. Visibility is what you see on the outside, not reality. Visibility is just what people see, but who are you as a personal brand? It's you being authentic. So you go back, define your brand DNA. Next slide, please. Now, let me go back to those points. Authenticity. Around 4 in 5 consumers need to trust a brand to consider buying from it. Edelman, that's it. It's a research. Authenticity. If you want to buy stuff from any supermarket, if you look at Blue Band Bajirin or you look at Omo, I don't think there's Omo anymore in Nigeria anyway. You look at which brand can I even use? Jack Daniels or whatever. When you go to supermarket, nobody is guiding you to buy anything. You pick based on your perception of that brand. You trust the brand. Or maybe a Guinness, maybe Malta Guinness or whatever. So 4 in 5 consumers need to trust a brand. That's authenticity. This is fact. If you don't trust, you won't buy. Next slide, please. Clarity. 60% of consumers say clarity of messaging is the most important factor when it comes to brand messaging. So we want to see on social media, a lot of us will just take a leap, but most of us will pay, will stop, will pause. If there's no clarity in the messaging, we will not buy. Let me pause. True or false? Comment section. If you go to buy on social media now, your money can get lost. You pay someone you don't trust, but you pay based on trust and clarity of messaging. True, okay. True, Afyong said true, okay. I'm still waiting for more answers before I continue. Eddie Young says true, okay. True again, Tega. Okay. Grace Shagun says, okay. Let's move. Next slide, please. This is about personal true. Joseph said, Isaac says true. Next slide, please. Mbok. Now, consistency. Consistent percentage of a brand has been seen to increase revenue. Can you imagine? If you are consistent, your revenue increased by 33%. This is not hearsay. Lucid Press 2019. We are waiting for the new research 2023. It's an old one, but it's still valid. Consistent representation of who you are, consistently presenting who you are, increases your revenue. I'm a case study. Consistently representing who I am has increased my value in my market. Next slide, please. Now, see visibility. 70% of consumers prefer shopping with brands they follow on social media. Can you imagine? Sprout Social. Consistently be visible. But what are you visible for? Not Portable Baby, not Potter or whatever, or those people that keep on fighting on social media. You must be selling something that is positive to attract the right contacts to come to you. 77% of consumers prefer shopping with brands they follow on social media. That's a case study. Next slide, please. Reputation number 5. 70% of consumers cite customer experience as an important factor in their purchasing. Can you imagine? Now, you put 1, 2, 3, 4 points together, and there's no, they buy from you and you don't know they're not satisfied. Will they come back? Hold on. Will they come back to buy from you? I'm waiting for your responses. If all the points are just given, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then reputation, 73% of consumers cite customer experience as an important factor. If you're not happy from 1, 2, 3, 4, would you go back to those people? Waiting on you guys. They will drag you. Okay. Okay. So let's proceed. Next slide, please. Now, you need to learn how to craft a unique brand voice. Your brand voice is your brand messaging that is unique to you, not the one you borrowed from somebody else, you copy from someone else. It's about you. Next slide, please. Position is what you do to the mind of the prospect. Do you know you can control people's minds based on strategy? So you position, it's called positioning. Positioning. You alter the perception of the minds of people based on your preconceived strategy. Your strategies at the beginning of the slide. Okay? Next slide, please. It's about exclusion. Now, listen, you exclude yourself from the market. You are different because you are different. So position is about exclusion. It is first and foremost about who you are not. Wait, not who you are. Who you are not. Let's do reverse psychology. In creating my personal brand, I did what I call differentiation. Everybody was doing white, I did black. I went against the market. And they were still here. Exclusion is important for you as an individual. You want to become different, you want to create impossible, it's called exclusion. First and foremost, it's about who you are not about who you are. Exclusion means that you sit down and tell yourself, this is my competition, this is who I'm fighting against, these are the competitions, these are the people competing with me, but I will exclude myself from that competition. I will create a new market. It works. Next slide, please. Now, look at this. Be distinct, be different, be distinct. See where you are, others. Others are here. You are here in the red line. Others are in the white. That means that you are on your own lane. Don't try to become them. Be you. Others are already taken. Everybody is already taken. Be who you are. Stay focused, but stay in your lane. Be distinct, because every other position is taken already. Next slide. You need a personal brand statement to remain unique. So what's your personal brand statement on your positioning? That's an assignment I'll give you guys. For me, I defined mine many years ago, and I told myself, I am Dr. Charles Otudo. I deal in the currency of ideas. I create brands that resonate beyond their borders. Full stop. I am the salt of the earth. Because he's in me, I am in him. That's all. Create your personal brand statement. That's your assignment. Next slide. Crafting a clear and authentic personal brand statement serves as a guiding beacon. It will help you to guide yourself. It's for you. It resonates with you, and it helps you to take your brand to the next level, where you become the beacon, where people are looking up to you to invite you for events, invite you to speak. They are paying you premium. When they don't have money, they'll beg you. You must create a clear and authentic personal brand statement. Your assignment starts now. I think I'll pause, wait for people to write your statements in this column, in your chat. I wait all of you, including Mercy. Mercy has disappeared.
I'm here, sir.
I'm waiting for people to write your statement, personal brand statement. I'm waiting. Clear, authentic personal brand statement. I'm waiting. And I'm not having right. These children of Jesus. Okay, if you delay a bit, I will just move on. It will keep on coming. Next slide, please. It will come out. We'll go back there. Next slide. Okay, now look at my personal brand statement pointers. Self-reflection. Engage in self-reflection. Identify your core values, your strengths and positions. I call it the SWOT. SWOT. Consider your unique skills, experiences, and then you need to take time. All of you, take your time. Then define your why. Clearly articulate your purpose. Your purpose. Why are you here? Why are you on earth? Why are you doing what you're doing? If you're in the wrong market, move away. What are your long, short, mid, long-term goals? Define them. You can't assume. You have to write it down on your own jotter. A lot of people assume, and that's why a lot of failures happen. They don't write. They don't plan. They don't articulate. They just move with the crowd. As it happens, they move. No. If you're in this platform today, I want to hear you guys say, we have stopped procrastinating. We have stopped living life based on perception. You are living life based on your own terms. Self-reflect, define your why, and then decide what is my path next. You didn't come here by mistake. This is not a mistake. This is Mercy's vision, and she's bringing you to a place where you can define where you want to go next. Next slide, please. Build young, powerful Christian women. Okay. Next slide. I want to round up. Now, test, craft, test, refine. The most important part about all this is that when you start it, don't stop. I'm a victim of stopping. I will start between family, children, issues. I will not pause. But I learned one thing. Once we go back, I go back to my drawing board. That's why I have my jotter. I open my jotter. I have about 27 diaries in my office for the past 15, 20 years. I write everything. So I just come back, open my diaries. It helps me. So have a diary. Go to your personal statements, but you need to stick. The most important thing is that stick with your plan. A lot of us fail because we don't stick with our plan. Somebody told me something many years ago. They said, there's one word they use, flighty. I'm flighty. That means I'm doing too many things at the same time. I forget a lot of stuff. I'm flighty. Don't be flighty like me before. Be you. Be consistent. Stick with it. You must stay in your lane and always go back to your jotter. Have a to-do list. The to-do list is very critical. Have a to-do list. What I want to do today, tomorrow, or whatever. Go back and look at it and then cross the ones you've achieved. If you can't keep a to-do list, you will never ever be efficient. Your brain is not a machine, it's not a computer. You'll forget. Have a to-do list. Next slide, please. Now, these are my strategies to accelerate your personal brand. I will run through them. Next one. Please, next slide. You must leverage social media to amplify your personal brand. But see, look at the words in red. Amplify, boost, update, assess, adapt, measure. See, if you don't amplify, nobody will hear you. If you don't boost, nobody will hear you. You don't update, you are going to be dead. You don't assess, you are just in the past. If you don't adopt, changes will always occur. You must adapt to the changes. Social media is not static. Younger people are coming up behind you and behind me, they will take over. But wait, you must measure. If you don't measure, how do you gauge? You must measure. So I'll start. You must leverage social media to amplify your personal brand. You must network. No, but the most critical aspect is collaboration, like I'm doing with Mercy Speaks today. Collaboration keeps you relevant. It doesn't matter whether the person is down or on top of you or beyond you. Collaboration creates a new economy beyond your own economy. Don't be jealous of anybody. Let me say this. Don't be insecure. If your brand is secure, you can work with anybody anywhere in the world. You are secured, but it takes you defining your brand first so you can secure your space in this space. So you must collaborate. After collaborating, let's go to the last one. You must measure how was the impact so you can decide who you are going to deal with next. So I read it again. Amplify, boost, update, assess, adopt, and measure. Are we still on the same page, everybody? Next slide, please. Now, let me go back. Please, can we go back? Let me talk about updates. A lot of us do not update our social media platforms or anything else. Your CVs, for those that are looking for jobs, if you are not for a job, your CV is a standard document that you must have updated often. Keep it on standby. You might be sourced by government, federal, local, but you must have a CV that you can send. If someone says they are looking for someone to become next commissioner or next special advisor, you must have a CV. Update your brand, personal brand, all consistently. If you acquire a new degree or a new accreditation, update it. But be very careful how you update on social media. Don't come across as rude or intrusive. Be careful. Be aggressive but subtle. I don't want to mix that up. You can be aggressive but at the same time subtle. With my brand, I've been careful to build this in a way that people see, they don't see. And that's why I have a chief of staff. He's on this platform, Moni Adams. And I have a team that works with me. For me to do anything social or anywhere, if they say no, I will not go. They manage the brand. So as individuals, manage your brand in a way that you are consistent. Have a roadmap. Don't forget, amplify. After you amplify, you boost. After that, you update. Afterwards, you assess. After that, you need to adopt, consistently adapting to the changes in your competitive analysis, your psychographics, demographics. Oh, that's another lecture for another day. Psychographics, analytics, demographics. Who's your target audience? Who are you competing with? All those issues you must know, and then you must measure. Okay, I did this. Was it successful? You can't leave it to chance. You must document. Once again, thank you for the time to speak. Next slide. That's my last slide coming up. You can get my personal brand guide on Seller for those that are interested. And I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Ambassador Dr. Charles Otudo. It's been such a pleasure listening to you. Such a pleasure being in your meeting for the first time, but having heard you countless times. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing with us. Before we proceed, please, I would like us to share feedback, what you've heard. If you have a question, if you have a contribution, I would just like us to share in the group chat, or you would unmute your mic. Praise session. Please, let's speak. Please.
Also, one of the things that stood out for me is when he said, don't get comfortable with where you are. You must be insatiable, intentional, and consistent.
Yes, he definitely said that. Thank you so much, Ms. Tega. Thank you so much. Please, would any other person like to share? Or if you have a question to ask?
All right. I'd like to go. All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very insightful session. You talked, one of the last points you made, you talked about networking and collaborating to boost your credibility and reach. All right. So as a newbie, someone who is just starting out, probably as a business owner, an entrepreneur, or a service provider, something, but you are just at that point where you're just starting. And there are people in the industry that have been there for a long time. These people, most of them may see you as competition. So how are you able to navigate through that? You're trying to network, you're trying to collaborate, but these people are thinking you are coming to take their part of the market or their market share from them, and then they keep building this resistance. So is it at every point we need to network or collaborate, or do we build till we get to a certain, we sustain a certain momentum, and then we can then begin to seek for collaboration?
One, I think that the most critical aspect of brand building is where you do what I call selection and elimination. You should look at people that are your circle, people you can trust. It's instinct first. You can't do business with anybody you don't trust. So it starts with you and your spiritual being. For me, I pray to God, I pray. I just pray. Please, they are calling me from my. Hey, I beg. Sorry. Hello, sir. Just 1 minute, please.
Okay,
Victor.
sir.
Hello.
While we wait for him to return, please, we could
How
go
you doing,
on
sir?
sharing, please. Any other person would like to share or even respond or contribute to the question Madam Mercy asked, if you could attempt in responding while we wait for our speaker.
So, Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, please. Go ahead, please.
For the answer as well.
We're all waiting for the answer. But we could attempt. I mean, we could just share one or two insights or what we feel
I
while
recently,
waiting for the answers.
I recently had a gig and something very similar to this, right? Just like 2-3 weeks ago. And I lost it because I couldn't find anyone who was almost like willing to partner, because it was very new to me. It's PR. I'm not really strong in PR. And I got a very good gig, but everybody wanted to just take it for themselves and no one was willing to partner. And do you understand? So
Yeah.
I'm also to know how do you go about things like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. At this point, I'm equally speechless. I don't know what to say because we all are waiting for that response. Okay. But while waiting for that particular response, we could have other contributions if you have something else to share concerning what you heard Dr. Tudor speak to us about. I have a question. I could share it while waiting for him. And I believe we could have responses here from the other participants. My question is, he kept talking about personal branding, about who you are, showing people who you are. But my question is, in a situation where you have different expressions, how do you brand yourself and your works in a bid not to look confused? So you are one person and then you have different legs, different expressions. How do you brand yourself to the public, so you don't end up looking like you're unsure, you don't know what you're doing, and because of that, you could lose their trust or credibility towards you. So that's my question.
Okay, so I wanted to wait for Dr. Charles, but I can see our father is saying I should go ahead and answer those questions. All right, so rather than just wait. So let me start from the last question. Say you are multi-talented, you have many interests and all of that. All right, so for branding, I believe that at every point, there must be a side of you that you choose to project. There's got to be one side of you that is ahead of all the other parts of you. You could be doing so many other things, but you need to choose. And then the advantage we have of different platforms is that you can be anything on any platform. So there's Pastor Godman of the Elevation Church. I know that on X, former Twitter, he has a series that he does on relationships. All right, and it's strictly for the Twitter or the X audience. It's strictly for the X audience. So the relationship expert part of him, he chooses that particular platform to express it. All right, and he has a lot of following there and all of that. Then it comes to, he also has a podcast. On his podcast, you would find more of the messages he preaches in church. So I think the key is when you have these social media platforms, you try not to mix. Like I recently had to create another page for myself, Mercy J. Isaac, the interpreter. Please follow me. I'll be so glad if you do that. That's on Facebook. Mercy J. Isaac, the interpreter. It's different from my personal brand. It's different from what I've been doing before. So the content that will basically be coming out on that brand, if someone wants to have a business engagement with me, that's where I would send them to. I probably will not send them to my personal page because that will have lots of personal things, but that's my business profile. So you can choose that on X, you talk about, like for you, you're an event compare, you're a pharmacist, you're a pastor. You could choose to project different parts of yourself using different platforms. I think the problem comes when you bring everything into the same space. So on one space, they are seeing you today, you are talking about let's build the youth Tomorrow you are talking about climate change. Tomorrow, when you are not a news channel, even in news, even the news channels, you see that there are segments, there are different segments and all that. They are all providing information, they are providing entertainment and all that, but they call these things by different names. So I think don't just see yourself like a bundle of you're doing too many things. No, just begin to position yourself different platforms where necessary, and then you pay attention to a particular part of you. All right, let me talk about what Tega asked. I would say most times if you get a gig and it's something you're not very familiar with, the first thing I would do if I'm getting a gig that is not really my area of specialty is that I would try to, how do I put it now? From the people who are giving the contract, I would try to, do I say upsell? I would try to be sure that whatever, if that gig I do is genuinely going to cost, let's say, 5 million to execute, I will be sure that wherever I'm getting that gig, I get above that 5 million. So that the person I'm taking it to, all right, by the time the person says, this thing is actually going to cost 5 million, I'm going to run it with 4.9, my profit is just 100, I can't give you from that. I would have already settled with the contractor or with the person giving the contract that I am taking so and so, that this job is 5.5. And it's now my responsibility to go look for a vendor that'll probably do it for the 5 million that they are comfortable with. So most times, coming from that, looking for that leverage from people that are, let me not say in the trenches, but people that are down there also trying to, look for something. They would even feel you have taken more from the company. Genuinely, they would think you've taken more and you're trying to take advantage of them. So most times you just try to take the prices up. When you take the prices up, it's a safer place for you to land because this is going to cost 5 million to execute. Okay, this company give me 6 million. That's you take the 1 million and then you go find a vendor that can do it for a fair price. So I would say that, and just like he said before he went off, we collaborate, we pray, we trust in the Holy Spirit. And that's why networking is important. We don't even wait for the jobs to come before we start looking for who to collaborate with. All right. So networking events, really important, knowing that you can meet this person anytime. You can't tell where you would meet that person you are sitting with, you're sitting next to on a plane. You can't tell when you need that person's services. So we take networking seriously, knowing that a point may come that I will need to call that person to do something. And it's expected that if we have related over time, it will be much easier to get it done. So sorry that you lost that gig, but I believe 2024, many more gigs are coming. All right. All right. Tega said thank you. There was a question asked.
Thank you so much for expounding that.
Yeah, I probably need to answer myself as well when you're coming into the industry.
Okay.
First time. Yes, he also talked about, being very prayerful. You are not trying to, there's a level of success that attracts success. That's what I believe. There's a level of success you will get to that other people who are on that level will become attracted to you. I read the story of a pastor. If I'm not mistaken, it was Pastor Sam Adeyemi. Pastor Sam Adeyemi talked about how he had tried at different times to see Bishop Oyedepo, and it just wasn't happening. He said that's when he was just starting up, and he would have to wait, and the Bishop was so busy, and it was just difficult for him to see. So he decided to go back and just throw himself into his work. And he threw himself into his work, and he just kept on at it until the Lord began to help Daystar, and became like a name. At some point, he ran into Bishop, I think at the airport, and was like, "Where have you been? How have you been? Oh, let's see," and all that. And so you could see that because he had thrown himself into his vision and was able to build from the ground up. It was now easier for someone who was already successful to relate with him. Sometimes when I go online, I see I ask myself, Did Donsi Onyeka and Jerry Eze, did they know each other before now? Or is it just because they are in the same space? It makes it easier for them to relate. I don't think some of them were childhood friends. I don't think maybe someone like Pastor Isaac Oyedepo, I don't think they were childhood friends, but at a level of success, you just find yourself gravitating towards, each other. So what am I saying? Put the work into building your brand. Put the work into building your vision from the ground up. Trust God that He will give you the necessary speed that you need to catch up wherever you need to catch up. Because when you are down here and you're trying to get their attention up there, it becomes almost very difficult. But when you put in the work, they would take knowledge and say, okay, this person is doing something fantastic. Can we go there? Can we reach out? And that's why I believe using our social media handles too is really very important. All right. So, Didion, I think we can move on. Can we move on?
Yes. Thank you so much, Ma. Yes, we can. Thank you so much, Ma, for sharing. I'm sure that we have learned a whole lot. Okay, at this point, I think we will move on to the next item, pending when Dr. will back to join us. And when I saw this I'll be mentioning them: celebrated, famous, prominent, renowned, notable, distinguished, esteemed, respected, honored, venerated, great, iconic. This is luxury. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like us to welcome for the second time, and I would say twice is a charm, to speak to us on the subject from ordinary to iconic. This is luxury. The chief host of VERITAS Brand and Legacy Retreat 2024. Let's welcome Madam Mercy J. Isaac. Well, we're going to hear you speak again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around. It's been very exciting. Over 2 hours. We've been here for like 2 hours. And I believe that in the next 15 or so, in the next 15 minutes, I believe we should wrap things up so you can enjoy the rest of your weekend. All right. So quickly, I'll just be sharing on from ordinary to iconic. And this is a challenge to everyone that is here, every brand, every business, everyone that is here. When I was going to get into coaching, I looked at many aspects of coaching, people doing fantastic jobs in different areas and all that. But it had to take me a couple of branding classes, clarity sessions to actually settle on luxury branding as major niche that I wanted to focus on. And I'll share with you why. Luxury branding for me really stands out because I believe that someone of African descent who has had the opportunity to watch how many global brands, are celebrated. I mean, you have the Louis Vuittons, you have the Chanel, and everything like that. You have all those kind of brands. I discovered that we rarely have that come out of Africa. We rarely have strong, iconic, luxury brands that come out of here. The most we could have most times are businesses. The most we could have most times are, yes, the person has like 10 factories. But when you talk about something being iconic, when you talk about something being avant-garde, when you talk about something being so exquisite, something that the world regards as rare, as fine, as extremely privileged, we of African descent, it looked like we were really so behind. But I also remember growing up that my father used to have a brand. He used to have a brand, and that brand was called Decobas. My dad was into furniture as far as furniture pieces are concerned. he was one of the finest collectors. Not only was he a collector, but he was also a manufacturer. And I remember being little, I remember he used to go to places like Italy. He would come back with awesome catalogs. He would order things from outside of the country. And I remember that he served people like Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. He served IBB. He served many people from the East. He served, there were so many guys that were big all over the country. Remember, this was during the military era. My dad was not based in Lagos. He was not based in Abuja. If there was, we didn't even have an Abuja then. My dad was not based in any of those places, but we discovered that the quality of work he was putting out was so fine and rare that people would fly in from different places just to come take a look at his showroom and make purchases. And I remember being little, I'm talking about this is like the late 80s, all right? I was born in 83, so we're talking the late 80s into the early 90s. But I mean, he had everything going. His business processes were fantastic. I remember I would look at many of the things he was doing and I would just see this, all these things we talk about, invoices and all that. He just was like so many steps ahead of his generation. I would think so. And these big men, they would come and someone would go visit them, see their furniture and be like, who made this? Where did you get this? Where did you import this? He said, I didn't import this. There's this guy in Calabar. And that's how it went on for a long time. So I thought about all of that. And I felt that must have been for a reason. That must have been for a reason. There's a reason why I had that experience. And he made me work with him. He made me work with him from my secondary school. As soon as I got into high school, he made sure every holiday that I would be there. I would be there, and he put me on a salary. He would pay me at the end of the month for being there. Ask yourself what someone who was about 12, 13 was probably doing in such a big place. But I would just move around. I would go there, report in the morning. The driver would drop me off. I would just sit there, and all I did, you know, in retrospect, I just believe I was taking in a lot of the processes, the behind the scenes. I was taking in a lot of the fine tuning. I was taking in a lot of the way he would treat his customers, the culture of the company. It wasn't just about making fine pieces. He had the culture. The company had a culture that was consistent. And it resonated a lot with me by the time I needed to go into coaching. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take people from ordinary to iconic. I'm going to take people from just being one of them brands or one of them service providers to become like the top of the shelf kind of, you know, service provider. You are not just one of them, but when people are looking for someone that stands out, when someone looking for something so excellent, that you would be the go-to person. All right. So when you're talking about iconic, you are talking about something that is widely recognized and widely and well established. All right. I'm on my slides now. When you talk about iconic, you're talking about something that is widely recognized and well established, like an iconic brand name. When you talk about iconic, you are talking about a widely known and acknowledged aspect. Was I muted? Can you hear me, please?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, also luxury. In the beginning, there was luxury, all right? So many times we feel that the designer brands that we see, they were actually the starting point of luxury. It wasn't always so. They didn't start luxury. Luxury was not started by Ralph Lauren or Tommy or any of those guys. Luxury had always existed, even in our traditional spaces, even in our villages, even in some of our kingdoms, African kingdoms. Luxury has always been a thing. As a matter of fact, there was a time that, I'm on the next slide, there was a time that, the pharaohs of Egypt were regarded as some of the wealthiest people that ever walked the earth. And many times when they were to be buried, they were buried with their gold ornaments and the rest. And there were many traditional kings, ancient rulers, or even people who were doing so well. Whenever they were going to be buried, they wouldn't bury these people alone. They would bury some of them with horses, because they said that in the afterlife, that they needed to continue this affluence. They were wealthy here, and it was said that in the afterlife, they need to continue this affluence, this wealth, this thing about them being in charge. And so they would bury them with everything, their monies, so that they don't become poor in the afterlife where they are going. Isn't that funny when the person is already dead? All right, so from time, people have always loved to identify with luxury, but how do you define luxury? Let's go to the next slide. How do you define luxury? Luxury can be defined as many things by different people, all right? The masses can define luxury. And this is depending on where someone is. Someone can be at a place where they feel that a Toyota Camry is luxury, possibly because they do not have a vehicle, they do not have a means of transportation. So when you ask someone, oh, what is luxury? Say, if I just have that car, man, and they define it according to where they are per time. Then you have luxury that is defined by people that are the elitist. All right, these are the leisure seekers. These are the people that know that, yes, it's okay to have a car, but I can also have a private jet. All right, so they are the ones that, even though they are rich, they decide to take it a step further and say, okay, I want a yacht. I want to be able to go on a boat cruise anytime I want. And I want my private boat. I want my private boat club and all of that. I want a house that overlooks the sea and all those kind of things. So they are not just rich, but they are leisure seekers. They also define luxury for us. So there is just not one definition of luxury. It depends on where they are. And, you need to look at it. The industry experts also have their definition of luxury. When then you talk about, empirical definition of luxury, like the brand, there's this brand called, some of us call it Lacoste. And this brand, is a very funny brand because, in a place like China, it's a brand that is seen as rare because I think there are just about 3 or so places in the whole of China where you can get their products. So because of the scarcity, because it is not available in every market, but if you go to a market like maybe you go to Spain, you go to Italy, this particular brand does not count. This particular brand does not even count as a luxury brand because it's almost everywhere. So because it's scarce in a particular region, someone can say, oh, this is a luxury brand just because they don't have it. And then the last definition of luxury is actually the creators, the people who are the ones building the product, actually saying that this product is luxury, all right, whether anybody thinks so or not. Let's move to the next slide and we'll do this exercise together. So on my screen now, you can see different names. I would like you to pick the odd ones out. Out of all these names you are seeing on the screen, there's Louis Vuitton, there's Unilever, there's Chanel, there's Close Up, there's Cartier, there's Procter & Gamble, there's Dangote, there's Transcorp, there's Prada, there's Rolls-Royce. All right, so as far as luxury is concerned, I'd like you to pick the odd ones out. You can do that in the chat box or you can unmute yourself. You can do that in the chat box or you unmute yourself. Can you pick the odd ones out? You can unmute yourself and just go. So Louis Vuitton, Unilever, Chanel, Close Up, Cartier, Procter & Gamble, Dangote, Transcorp, Prada, Rolls-Royce. So pick the odd ones out. Okay, Didion says Close Up, Dangote, Unilever. All right. Magistrate Afion, Chief Magistrate Afion says Close Up. All right. Anyone else? Pick the odd one that you feel, the odd ones that don't belong there. Unilever, Close Up, Prada, Dangote. All right. Nobody is speaking Procter and Gamble. Nobody is speaking Procter and Gamble. Is it because it's the name sounds English or whatever? Yeah. All right. So now, what does this mean? The fact that a company is big or doing well does not necessarily make it a luxury brand. Procter and Gamble, they are a company that have a lot of distributorship, they have lots of products in the market and all of that, but it doesn't necessarily make them a luxury brand, all right? Rather, they have great control, they have great market share, great control over the markets through their different products, but it doesn't make them a luxury brand. And I'm happy that you were able to identify that, all right? Close Up toothpaste really does not fit in here, though you would find it almost everywhere. There's hardly a place I don't think you would see Close Up toothpaste, but the fact that it's everywhere doesn't make it a luxury brand. Okay, so market domination most times is not what defines a brand as a luxury brand. It's not because it's been distributed everywhere, you can find you everywhere. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, Unilever, the same thing. All right, so let's go to the next slide. Let me ask. So I have two cars. I have two cars on the screen. All right. One of them is a Ferrari. All right. One is yellow. One, let me call this red. Let me say this is a red. And the other one is yellow. All right. So if you were to go to a car stand, all right, you were to go to a car shop, an automobile sales shop, and they present these two cars to you and they tell you these two cars are for sale, which of them will you ask if it has air conditioning? Red or yellow? The red. The red one, oh. Red. Okay. So unmute yourself. Let's hear why the red.
The yellow, it looks beautiful. You know this one has beautiful. Yeah. The red one looks like potato pen, so you should ask if it has
the red one looks like you can stop anytime, like if you drive and go, just park up
Who is
somewhere.
saying the red motor?
So we need to be sure whether it has AC before we take it.
I think we should even ask if it has brakes. We should even ask if it has brakes.
Yeah, if it has brakes. See.
Okay. All right. So now the one on the left, the yellow, is a Ferrari. Now, the beauty of this Ferraris, I think there was one time that they said that they are the music of the car is its silence. Oh wow, the music is its silence. So you know there are cars that you start. When you start that car, all your neighbors will know you have started. I don't know if you've had that kind of car before, or you still have it. That when you start it, 2 houses away, they know your car has started because of the noise that comes from it and all that. But here you have these ones, and there are cars that are like this, and they are saying that the silence is their music, the silence of the car. In other words, you start the car, you don't hear nothing. You don't hear nothing. Most times you pass these cars where they have enough space to ride, and you won't even hear a car is coming. All you just feel is woof, and the car is gone. You won't hear anything. But there are some cars that announce themselves from very far away. Okay. All right. So luxury is really powerful. It sets us apart in the minds of people. Just like you saw this one, the way it's built. Both cars, they are mobility friendly. They help you get from point A to point B. But just because of the way this one is built, you tend to appreciate it more. If you are asked to pay, say, $700,000 for the one on the left, that's for the Ferrari, you probably would. If you are asked to pay 70,000 naira for the one on the right, you would even price it just because of how it looks. All right, let's move to the next slide. Talking about luxury branding. Luxury branding, one thing that makes it stand out is that it is something that has to be earned. When we look at luxury brands, there are things that have to be earned. Now, they believe that the greater the inaccessibility of their products, whether it is actual or virtual, the greater the desire. And so what luxury brands do is that they create some unconventional false sense of unavailability. So they tell you things like you have to pre-order, and then they tell you to specify the customizations that you want for that particular product. And when you go to some of their websites, they allow you to pick the color of what you want, the size of what you want, how you want it delivered, and all of that. And then they give you probably a couple of weeks to delivery time, and all that while you are there waiting because you're like, hi, so this is not something I can just walk into a shop and pick. Yes, they have outlets, but you will not even find those outlets in regular places. Most luxury brands, you know, if they must have a retail outlet, it's going to be at one of the top malls, one of the toppest or top biggest malls ever. All right, that's where they will position themselves. All right, so while this is going on, they do not carry out traditional, conventional marketing techniques. So they are not trying, okay, as we get on, you get to understand things differently. All right, there's another point I will share that more clearly with us. So luxury brands are unconventional. The next slide. Luxury brands also make you understand that we are not your bodies, so like we're on another level. They are not rude to you. When you go into any of these luxury shops, you discover they are not rude to you, but they don't also try to, how are you? You're looking nice. They are very professional in what they do. They maintain a particular distance that is not super telos or aloof, but they maintain an aura of mystery. So luxury brands are different. There's something mysterious. When you hear Gucci, you hear Chanel, you walk into, you know, their outlets, and you'll just be feeling like sometimes they would not even walk up to you. If you've been to any of those malls and you walk into their shops, sometimes they won't even walk up to you. They just allow you to be looking. You even be feeling like, God, am I worthy to be here? And they leave you to soak in. After they leave you to soak in, after about 2, 3, 4 minutes of being alone, someone will then walk up to you. Welcome, how may I help you today? So you will not see, you know, there's a mall we have here. As you are entering the mall, there are people that are standing. If you've entered this mall, there are people that are standing at the door. Immediately you enter, Auntie, please come to our shop. We are doing free this thing here, free this thing there. That doesn't happen with luxury brands. They sit and wait. Now, and you will be thinking, I'm supposed to be marketing my product and all that. That's why this is not for everyone. This is not even applicable to every business, but I'm talking specifically about luxury brands. All right. Number 3, luxury brands. What makes them stand out? What makes them different? The next slide, please. Whenever you see a luxury brand advertising, the purpose of their advertising is never to sell. The purpose of the advertising is to build a tribe, is to instill an awareness, is to build a community, is to make people desire. Now, there was I think it was a marketing officer of BMW one time, and he was being interviewed, and he was asked, what are your roles? What are you going to do as he said, well, my role is simple. My role is to make every teenage boy go to bed and dream of owning a BMW. Every teenage boy should go to bed and dream of owning a BMW as soon as he is out of college. Now, that alone shows you that his marketing strategy is going to be different. He's not going to be saying to the boys, come and buy a BMW, but he's simply going to be putting adverts. He's going to be putting marketing materials out there that someone would aspire, like, oh my God, if only I can drive a BMW. That was what he was doing at the time. Now, when you look at adverts, when you look at Rolex, like this one that we have on the screen, very simple. What does it say? Men who guide the destinies of the world wear Rolex watches. They didn't put a price. They didn't say buy now. They didn't say order now. They only put that up, and they pay heavily. And they put that on prime magazines. They put that on prime magazines in prime areas. And all they said is men who guide the destinies of the world wear Rolex watches. And so you ask yourself, am I guiding the destiny of the world? Am I one of the men that are guiding the destiny of the world? One of the leaders who I need to get a Rolex. Because you know, it's not just about telling time. So they have sold to you that the people distinctive leaders, they are people who are people that are given to, you know, some level of excellence, leadership. They are alpha leaders and all that, and that is what they project. All right. In luxury brand, many times you'll see that the strategies are different. You are branding a lot. Oh, welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Hope we're good. Welcome back. All right. So when you are branding, you're trying to advertise a product that is luxury. You are trying to attract. Okay. Now let me say this. People don't buy when you have VIP or high-paying customers. They are not really looking for the service you provide. It's not really about the functionality of the thing you provide. They are just looking for the feeling that it gives them. So many people that make luxury purchases, it's not about whether the food tastes better in that particular restaurant, because you could be cooking the best, I don't know, fisherman soup, you could be cooking the best white soup that the country has ever seen. But there are people that will not come to your place to eat just because it doesn't give them a feeling of superiority. They feel coming to your place makes it look like they are rolling with everybody. All right. So, but people who have built a luxury brand, they may not have such a fantastic chef, but people who are high-paying clients, high-paying customers would go to that place and would go sit just for the ambience, just for the feeling that I went to 4 Points, for the feeling that I went, you know, to the Ritz or something. They would just go there just for that feeling. So they are not really paying for the product, but they are paying for the feeling. When someone holds a Gucci bag, when someone holds a Louis Vuitton bag, not the copies, the real bags. When someone holds that, there's a way they feel. They feel they get heads to turn, and they love the attention, you know, that it gives them. All right. So when you're you're trying to brand the product, you're trying to get high-paying clients. There are words you use. You don't just say, come and buy now. You don't just say, this product is very good. They don't understand that. So there are words that are luxury words. You have words like elegance. If you can see that, elegance, elite. You can see so many of them. All right. Is my screen, are my slides on? We're having a challenge. Did you just let me know what's going on so I can wrap up? Can you unmute? Let's know what's up.
Oh, it's coming on now.
Oh, awesome.
Sorry.
Awesome. So on your screen, you see there are lots of words that you can use when you're advertising a product. It's not to say that you have something that is not really a high, end product, and then you will just go and throw some of these words around. But it is a totally different landscape, all right? You are selling to people that do not have time to check out functionality. They only only time that they have is to be sure that this thing makes them feel like they are in another class, like they are separate from the masses. It makes them feel like, okay, I'm this thing I have, it's only people of a particular level that are here. It sounds selfish, but that's what luxury branding is about. And the truth is, that is where it is. So there are people that make, they have mass distribution of their products in the market. But you see, someone who is into luxury goods, luxury services, they may stay, but one sale, two sales, three sales, most times, just 4 or 5 sales is enough. Here, we are trying to do like 100 gigs. We're trying to do like 500 gigs. I mean, me to where I'm wrapping up today. In the month of March, specifically on Sunday, the 31st of March and the 1st of April, I'm going to have a masterclass. In masterclass, I'm going to reveal some of the things that will treat your business from just playing in the small league. Many of us, I said, so there is the brand masterclass for luxury brands happening on Sunday, the 31st of March and Monday, the 1st of April. Together, I and my manager, we had started already making plans for this. And it's happening on a Sunday afternoon. You check into Ibom Icon. We're using Ibom Icon for that. So you check into Ibom Icon on Sunday, the 31st of March. And then you're there, you have your dinner, we have the networking, and from there, you have a good night's rest. And then the morning we have breakfast together and we get into the luxury brand and strategy session. What will I be doing in that masterclass? Not just is it going to be a class, but I will be working with you on your brand. If you register before the time, I would have done a real intensive brand audit for your company, and I would know how we can transit you from the regular brand, from a brand that is just, okay, doing good stuff now, to a brand that can now do iconic, great, amazing, outstanding stuff to make you become one of those names that I believe are going to be coming out of Africa and will resound round the world. That's what I believe God to do for you. That's what I believe God to do for your brand, that your brand will be on the lips of as many that need your service. All right, so please mark your calendars, 31st of March and Monday, the 1st of April. It's the Easter weekend, so it's a weekend that is, free. So by the time you're done with your church service, Easter Sunday, we get into this very immersive experience at the Luxury Branding Masterclass. More details will be sent to us All right, for those of us who have joined the class today, more details will be sent, and then we'll give you the different options. Room sharing, you want a personal room, we'll give you the different options and what you need to pay for that. We'll also be sharing a special discount for you if you are registering what we call the early bird. All right, we have a limited offer for, a limited time that you can pay a certain amount. Afterwards, by the time we make it public, the figure goes out there and it stays. But for members of this community, we'll be making sure that you have access to the best discounts as is available for that particular program. All right, then we have what is called the VERITAS Gold. So we have been on VERITAS. All right, I believe you've been transformed. There are things you've heard that's opening your mind to lots of possibilities. All right, so but we are launching what is called VERITAS Gold. VERITAS Gold is more like the premium side of Veritas. Okay, so here we keep things a bit simple, but in Veritas Gold, I mean, that's when we are swimming in deep waters. That's when we're doing the real big stuff. So in Veritas Gold, I would then be able to provide you with private coaching sessions. It could be over the phone. We could have these telephone conversations where we do your personal brand audits, where we look at where you are, how you need to transit. We've talked about a lot of things. You heard Dr. Charles talk about the things that you need to assess. Someone needs to walk you through this. All right, someone needs to walk you through this. You need someone. These are not things you hear and just go back and sit down. You need someone who is a specialist to walk you through this. All right, so at Veritas Gold, you have access to me. You have access to the wealth of my resources to be able to transform your brand, to be able to build. I would send out, a questionnaire, and you would fill that, and then by the time I receive your answers, I would then be able to position you in a better place in the market. That's one of the promises I'll make you. All right, so Veritas Gold is a private coaching service, so you can also subscribe to our online community, and more of those details will be sent to your email. All right, so on behalf of all of us here at Veritas, the January 2024 edition, would like to say a big, huge thank you to you for joining in, for you being a part of the first, step takers, the world changers, the globe adjust. You are just doing a lot just by being here, because soaking in all this awesomeness, soaking in, and letting your creative juices, just flow, it's really going to do a lot to the world. The world has just been waiting for what you have. All right. So at this point, I would like to most respectfully request that our Father in the Lord, His Grace Archbishop Dr. Cletus Bassi, please, if Daddy, you can speak and bring a blessing over us, we would be so happy. We'll be so happy. Please, if you could speak and speak a blessing over us, because there's a lot we want to do this year, and everyone on this platform really needs God to take them through to the next level. Thank you so much, Dad.
Thank you, everyone. Why I haven't said much is because my voice is blessed, and so I hope you are hearing me. God bless you. First of all, let me appreciate the interpreter for making this happen. It's what many pay thousands of naira and dollars to attend, to bring us to a place of getting this information that will help every person that is seeking to become global. I believe we are not to be local. We are to be global. And to be able to be global, you have to have what it takes to make it happen. I've learned a lot taken a lot of notes, written questions that I want to ask when I see the interpreter to be able to interpret the things for me, and also to advance in many areas. And I want to thank Dr. Tudor for making out the time to come. Um, I haven't slept yet. It's already past 6 a.m. So, but I didn't want to miss it. I really wanted to be part of this very first outing and be sure that I don't miss out at any time. I was asking a question when the follow-up of this will come on. But now what I've heard is that it's going to be the imperial one. So which will be the last day in March and the 1st of April. Well, some of us may not be there physically, but I hope that there will be this platform for us wherever we are. We can still join, except that we will not enjoy the luxury of the rooms and the food that will be served. But the information is important, which is something we don't want to miss. So I trust the Lord that all of that will happen. So to everyone that has joined, I believe that you were blessed. It's challenging. It's good to kind of think out of the box and begin to see the possibilities of knowing how to. I wrote that aspect where I want to be different, which is talking about is it a exclusion? Yes. How can I be excluded in my brand in the midst of so many things that are happening online? And so the exclusion, yes, you want to be heard, but at the same time, you want to be excluded. So all of those things I've written down. I must have to amplify, I must have to boost, I must have to update, access, adapt, and then measure. All those things are very important if we are able to, take on those things. And then she finally left us with a 5-star thinking parameter on what you want to look like. Either you want a 505 or you want a Ferrari. So any of these are things that you take a look at. For me, I want the best. I don't know how much they are going to charge us after now to now build our brands. But let's believe God that when it is starting now, it's better we get our brands to be made for us, because the time will come that they will now be charging us in dollars so that the money will make sense. So now that we can pay in Naira, please do our brand now. Thank you so very much. Having said that, I've been blessed and I really truly appreciate everything that I've been taught on this platform. And I pray that wonderful moment in time of sharing, which, Father, it is information that we need to be able to have the formation for where we are going. Your word says that my people perish for lack of knowledge. And today, knowledge is everywhere. Knowledge is made available to us. And Father God, I pray that we will be able to take advantage of this moment. We'll be able to receive our personal brands and we'll be able to be in the faces of people even without shouting, yet we are being noticed. Everywhere people go to, there may be many other drinks, but there's no brand like Coca-Cola. And Father, that will become such branded that people will notice us even when they don't feel like noticing us. Thank you for your daughter that you have used to raise this platform. I pray for greater insight and wisdom be given to her. And I pray for the guest minister that was part of this. Yes, he's a great man in his own right, yet he has humbled himself to even be part of this, to help the very person that he has helped before now, who has been accredited. And so, Lord, we pray that you continue to bless his brand. And for everyone that is here, none of us would lose the information we've received. We will rise from here to do more. And we could say that we've taken a lot from this very moment to now have some form of adaptability that will help us to begin to shoot beyond where the stars are. Thank you, Father, for helping us and leading us. We give you all the praise and glory in Jesus' mighty name. We dedicate this unto you for greater height, Father God, for that which you have purposed, it shall be so that we will hear of these as becoming an international global company that is branding for people around the world. So therefore, we dedicate in the name of God the Father, God the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Thank you, Father, in Jesus' name. Amen and amen. God bless you.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so very much, Daddy. We love you so much. Thank you. Thank you for staying up. I mean, you've not slept all night. This means a lot. Thank you so much. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. So now you are going to turn on your video before you say your goodbye. All right? Because I want to see your faces. Turn on your video. All right? Many of us are in Nigeria, so it's day. There's nothing like there's no light. All right. There's nothing like there's no light. So now your video we're about hello. You look familiar, sir. I've seen you somewhere before.
Yes.
Hello, Daniel. Hello, Chief Magistrate. Hello. I can see your beautiful faces. I can see your beautiful. Is Tega here? Hello, Tega. Hello. All right. Thank you so much for being a part of Veritas. All right. So we have your numbers and we will be in touch and let you know what we are planning. Thank you so much. All right. Any closing words? Anyone has anything to say? Please feel free to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself and say something. Anyone? Chief Magistrate. You look like you want to say, Lord Damilola. Damilola, get in here. Damilola, get in here. Unmute yourself.
The mind is not the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Thank you so much. Ambassador Dr. Charles Otsudo. We are so grateful, all of us at Veritas. Thank you so very much for coming. I'll be calling you shortly to say a thank you again. Thank you to your chief of staff and everyone that made this possible. Thank you everyone for joining us. ID, my man, thank you so much. All right, so we'll be in touch. And until then, keep walking in Veritas. Veritas is truth. Stay true to who you are. All right. God bless you. All right.
All right. And it's a wrap. Veritas Brand and Legacy Retreat 2024. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Bye.
Back